The beautiful lady you are seeing on the screen is none other than Mesha, the owner and the CEO of Herbs and Spice Kitchen. Mesha is a passionate home cook, content creator, and also a wellness advocate who is on a flavorful mission to reclaim her health one delicious meal at a time. Diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and battling inflammation, Mesha turned to her kitchen not just to feed her body, but to nourish her spirit. Through her YouTube channel, Herb and Spice Kitchen, she shares vibrant, health-conscious recipes infused with healing herbs, bold spices, and a whole lot of love. After overcoming the challenges of COVID and navigating the ups and downs of a weight loss journey, Mesha continues to inspire others with a joyful approach to food, faith, and flavor. With the strong support of her family and her deep belief in the healing power of food, she creates meals that are both beautiful, and you will notice that from the thumbnails, and beneficial, proving that eating well does not mean sacrificing your taste. So, whether you are here managing a chronic condition, or just looking to live a healthier life, or just fascinated when it comes to food and you like the presentation of food, Mesha's story and her kitchen is going to leave you full in every way that matters. Without further ado, allow me to bring her on the screen so that she can introduce herself in the best way she knows how. Mesha, it is such an honor having you at the Sunday service. This has been like nearly over 1.5 years of planning. I think it has been over 1.5 years of planning to get this beautiful lady on the screen. And she's going to talk about why it took so long. But Tribe Goga is so honored to have you here today, and I don't take it for granted. To the people who may not understand, that the people may not know, your journey. To the people who may not know who is Herbs and Spice Kitchen, please introduce yourself to them in the best way you know how.
Wow. Thank you, Goga. Thank you for such an amazing introduction. Yeah, it's just wonderful, like hearing you describing, the channel and stuff. And it's actually hearing that has fired me up and stirred me up a little bit, But hello, everybody. Hi, guys. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so grateful, and I feel really privileged that Goga has, invited me onto his show. I love Goga. I love what he does, and I love his show. And honestly, it's a real privilege to be here. I'm Mesha. I'm the CEO, content creator of Herbs and Spice Kitchen. I basically love cooking. I eat with my eyes, as I always say. I love food. I love storytelling through food, and also just how food can be so beneficial and fun, for us. So yeah, I'm Mesha Simpson Olawomeye. I'm a Jamaican. I was born in Jamaica, but lived longer in the UK than I have in Jamaica. I'm the firstborn of firstborn of 5 children. So I've got 4 brothers. And I am married and live in the UK with 2 kids.
Nice. Man, she's taken. Ladies, you can get tips about. You can get tips about. You can get tips about. You can get tips from her. Wow. Jamaican. Interesting. How long have you lived in the UK? Just curious to the people maybe on the live stream, because there are a lot of people in the United Kingdom watching you right now. Rebecca Le Prince and the rest. How long has it been in the UK as compared to the yard?
I've lived here over 25 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I came here in my teens. So yeah, I've lived here longer than I have in Jamaica. But don't get it twisted, darling. The Jamaican's still there. You understand?
You are in the area.
It's still in me. You understand? So don't, So we have both, When we're ready, we're over here like this, And then when we're ready, we're like, "What you say? Talk to me."
I love how you switched from the English accent to patois. Like you just flipped. Like I like how it just came out so naturally.
Yeah, you know what? Once it's in you, it's in you. You know, most of my the early years, foundational years, I was in Jamaica, so that's embedded in us, and I think most Jamaicans will relate. Wherever you go, whatever accent you have, wherever you live, that Jamaicanness is still inside of you. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm very proud of it. You know, us Jamaicans, we're very proud of who we are, where we're from, and what we're about.
Indeed, indeed. I do have like an amazing Jamaican community in the tribe, and I'm glad that you're one of them. Um, 25 years in the UK is not a small feat. Like, what made you leave home, for the UK? Do you get to visit Jamaica as often? And like, what was that experience like? Just like moving from Jamaica to United Kingdom. These are totally different worlds as well, culturally, values to some extent, and so on and so forth. So, what was like that shift for you when you moved from the yard to the UK?
You know what? It was very exciting because I just really wanted to leave home. I wanted to get
Wait, what?
away.
Wait, back up. Sorry, wait, what? You wanted to leave home?
I wanted to leave home. So let me give you like backstory.
Yes.
So, and we haven't discussed it. So I was raised in the the first 10 stroke 11 years of my life with my grandmother.
Mm.
And then, because I didn't know my mom until I was around 10 years old. So I grew up thinking my nan was my mom, but she was my grandmother. And it was hard to explain. So when I grew up in a very strict environment. My grandparents, we always call her, the army general, because she was very strict with time. She'd wake me up at 4:30 in the mornings. Like,
Yes.
why? Oh, you have to learn how to wash the dishes and sweep the yard. And I don't know if you Jamaicans out there, you can probably relate to this. Like you're sweeping the yard and the sun is not even up yet, but you have to sweep it and make sure there's no leaves on the ground. So my nan was very strict, and she raised me like that way, with like to be very principled, be on time, have integrity, that sort of thing. And
Yeah.
then as I went to secondary school, so shortly before I met my mum, and that was a whole, that just like sets my world on fire kind of thing, because this new person's coming into my life. I've never heard of you. I don't know who you are. And now, who do you say you are? Kind of thing. So, navigated that. So I then went to live with my mum, who again was very strict. She's a Christian, and everything is about the church. So if we on Sundays we go to Sunday school, and then after that we go to the main service, and after that we have breaking of bread service, like communion, and then after that it's church at 6 p.m. So it's just like church, church, church. If we're going to the beach, like for a cookout, is with the people from the church. We're
Yeah.
going to, I don't know, a zoo in Kingston, is with the people from the church. So everything was around family and church. And I don't know, maybe it's a bit of a rebel. I don't know. I just wanted to see what else was out there. So
Yeah. That's a good one. So like Island Sister says, that is so true. It's not the same with today's generation of Jamaican youngsters.
right.
So Island Sisters is like resonating completely with what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah. Carry on, sorry.
Yeah. So and I also value those principles that we were taught, because it's helped me to be the person I am today. It's helped me to navigate life. But yeah, so all of that, very strict. And then went through high school, all of that. And obviously, well, not obviously, but because my mom, I didn't know her until a certain age. I'm like, well, you can't tell me what to do. Like, you just come into my life, kind of thing. But I didn't say it out, but my actions. So where like she would say, tidy your room, I'm like, I'm doing that. I'm not doing it. And because she was trying so hard, like to make up, for the time we had apart, and like bond and all of that. And I just became very rebellious in some ways, not disrespectful, but like I would challenge her. Whereas with my nan, I wouldn't even dream of it, you know, because I know what the outcome would be. So yeah, I grew up in that kind of environment. She was very loving, you know, tried to do as much as she could, but um, I was not having it. And then yeah, just wanted to leave home. So if I didn't come to the UK, I would have gone to the city because I'm from the country, and I'm like, this country thing ain't holding. Nah, it's not for me, mate. I want to be out of here. All these strict people telling me what to do, and nah, I need to be out of here, you know. So yeah, that was what kind of fueled things. When I said I wanted to leave home, I mean, I had a beautiful life. You know, my mom provided for us. My stepdad, who's I call my dad because he raised me as his own. You know, I'm the only daughter. But yeah, I was very inquisitive because when I was at my nan's, I watched a lot of American stuff. So like, I don't know if you old folks can relate, Sister Sister, Fresh
Yes.
Prince of Bel-Air, you know. I'm like, I want to be in New York, you know. I want to be living that life. So I'm like, I couldn't wait to just leave home and go and experience that. But yeah, so once I finished high school, I was like, yeah, I'm done with school. I couldn't wait to leave school. And by the time we got there, I was like, okay, I'm done with school. What next? And I was like, oh, you don't want to go back to school? I'm like, nah, I'm not doing sixth form. I'm not doing none of that. I'm not ready for university yet. I just want to go and live my life kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
And then that's how she got me into a job. And so I started working in a school with her friend. So this friend is a friend of hers who she's an English lady, moved to Jamaica and started a private school. And then so I was like, okay, so you don't want to go to school, no problem. Me have something planned for you. You know what I mean? So she's like, okay, no problem. If you don't want to go back to school, you know, you can have this little summer job, get a little money, that kind of thing. I'm
Yeah.
like, you know, well, I can get my nails done, I can get, you know, you know. That's what I was
I like
thinking.
the priority. I like the priorities.
Yeah. Oh yeah, God. Then it was all about hair, nails, clothes, shoes, bags. That was it. Nothing else is important. Um, so yeah, I got the job, not knowing that there was another plan behind that. So waiting there, helped out during the summertime. They had a graduation, all of that helped out. And I remember her friend was like, I think you're really good at this, you know. I think you're really good, you know, if you want to have a permanent job, you know, there's an opportunity. I'll be happy to have you on the team, all of that, all of that. And I thought, oh yeah, why not, you know. So took the job, started doing it, really enjoyed it, really, really like till today. That's another one of my passions. I love children. I love working with children. They're just so wonderful and innocent, you know. And yeah, so I started doing that. And while I was doing that, I became really close with my mom's friend. Actually, she became a mentor to me, and she would always introduce me to like British stuff, you know, because obviously she's from the UK. She would import stuff in, you know. And I remember the first time she introduced me to chicken mushroom soup. Oh God! I remember she was like, "Oh, Mish, do you want to have some soup?" You know, after work, because after work we used to like just have a little chill, little chat, you know, that kind of thing. And I
Yeah.
remember she was like, "Oh, do you want some soup?" And I thought, you know, Jamaican like some chicken soup with some yam and thing in it, you know. I like chicken mushroom soup. I'm like, what the hell is this? I was like, oh, okay. It looks a bit mushy, but you know, I didn't want to be rude. I thought, okay, I'll try it. I tried it and I loved it. It was really nice. I liked the flavors. It was different. It was different from anything I've had. And I was already a bit of a foodie from, you know, then. So yeah, had the soup, and then from there on, you know, she would talk about London. She'd tell me about her experiences in London. You know, cup of tea was a thing. We'd have a cup of tea after work. I remember her husband, I don't want to call his name, but she would call out to so and so, can you put the kettle on? Have a cup of tea and chill and chat. And yeah, so she kind of planted the idea of going to London, because she was like, I think you would fit in London, like you love fashion, you love this, that kind of thing. Like, I think London would be good for you. But I don't know. I speak for myself. For me, I just didn't see London. I didn't see England because I just think England is dull and boring. Like,
Yes.
what's there anyway? It's just the Queen. You know what I mean? But I was thinking America, Miami, the beach, shopping.
The goods, the stuff you see in movies.
Yeah, exactly. What you see in the movies, So, yeah.
But look at you having afternoon tea like the Queen.
Darling, I'm telling you, even the accent. Oh wow, that was another thing because I used to do that. We used to practice like our accents and stuff like that. And so also a cousin of mine came to Jamaica, and she returned to build a house and have this dream home in Jamaica and all of that. Came back to Jamaica. She was with us for 6 months, and like again, she was on this tea thing, and she was like, she woke up in the morning, she's go. My mom was called Joy. She go, oh Joy, can you put the kettle on, darling? And mom was like, and she would do that every day, and then she go, oh, because nobody wanted her kind of tea, because in Jamaica we drink bush tea, like some
What is tea?
even grass tea. Not them kind of tea bags, PGs, Tetley, milk, and not even like condensed milk, because we use condensed milk, but no, fresh cow's milk. Like, who drink what? Cow's milk is like with a dessert. You know what I mean? It's a patty and drink a milk, not to make tea. So yeah, and then she dragged me into it, and then yeah, it became a thing for us. It's like, oh, you doing a cup of tea, darling? And then I was speaking in a British accent.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how that happened. So yeah, eventually the opportunity came because my cousin planted the idea in my head, of studying in the UK, because I got to the point where I was doing teaching. Sorry if I didn't clarify that. I was a teacher, so I was teaching young, like over here in the UK, like preschool age kids. So I did my training and I was doing that for a couple of years. But then I was like, I'm ready for the city now. I'm really, really ready now. I think I'm done with this teaching thing. Let's move on to the next thing. And so she was like, well, why don't you study in the UK? Because I was planning to go to university in Kingston. And she's like, why don't you study in the UK? And also, my mom's friend, she was saying the same thing, And also there was another thing as well. When I was in high school, I used to do debating. And one of the prize for winning the competition was to compete in the UK. So you compete in the UK against countries in Europe, other countries in Europe. Nice. And we used to have that thing about going to London, when we were practicing for debating. So yeah, spoke to my parents, told them, this is what I'd like to do, and they're like, okay, if you're up for it, if you're serious, and you're not saying I'm going to England and lose your head, you're not going to go to England, turn yourself into a fool, then yeah, that's fine. We can, can make it happen. So my cousin now said, okay, right, she sold her house because she wanted to move back to Jamaica, have the dream life, all of that. Anyway, funds run out because she underestimated how expensive it would be. So she was like, okay, I have this friend. She's a lawyer. She's looking for a secretary, but she's looking for somebody to work at home. So, you can come and study in the UK and work and earn at the same time. I'm thinking, yeah, why not? That's a perfect.
I am living bush tea. I'm going to live the life.
I'm leaving these country people behind. That happened, and I was like, okay, it sounds like a good idea. So happened really fast, to be honest. Everything was done. Next thing I know, I'm on my way to the UK. And I was like, yes, freedom. Because like I used to love to listen to like I don't know, when you're young, back then like Usher, Brandy, Monica, NSYNC, Blackstreet Boys. And my dad hated it. I'm like, you need to stop listening to them kind of music, then I'm yard. He'd be like, you need to stop listening to this kind of music because it's not godly. You know what I mean? We're church people. What are you doing? Oh my god! But I used to lock my room door because my room is at the far back, so it's near the garage, and I just used to lock the door and just turn up the music, and I did not care. But yeah, it used to be like, all of that. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing this? And the people I'm gonna say, I don't care about nobody. I don't think what nobody's gonna say. But anyway, that happened. So I was like, yeah, happy to get from these people and kind of live my life and do what I want, kind of thing. So I can go live my life and do whatever I want. So yeah, fast forward, came to London, and that was how I immigrated to the UK.
Wow. When you compare 25 years in the UK and you've been very eager to leave the country people in Jamaica. Any regrets?
No. No. And it's not. Oh gosh, it sounds really bad, but I love my family. I love my family. We are very, very close. But for me, I don't know what it was. I'm this kind of person. I like to discover things. I just don't feel like this box is it. Does that make sense? Like there's more out there. And again, some of the people that I've come in contact with, things I've seen on telly, I'm like, well, our little box is not like that. I want to peep over the fence and see. So no, I didn't have any regrets. I think when I first came, I really missed my family. I kind of like rallied them a little bit more. I was like, oh, actually, I do miss you guys. But no, I don't have any regrets. I think everything's happened for a reason, and I believe God ordains our path, and where we're supposed to be, we will always be. We might take the longer route, or but I just feel like wherever I am now is where God wants me to be.
I love that.
So, yeah,
That's a powerful statement. Sometimes God ordains our paths, and I like the sense of discovery. Curious question before we get into the meat of the day, which is we're going to talk about food. The cultural did you get any culture shock when you when you were settling in the UK and 25 years of being in the United Kingdom, and you compare with I like the examples you're giving in terms of mushrooms, chicken mushroom soup, and those simple things. You land in the UK, you are used to a certain kind of food. I was watching Juba Bruce. Juba Bruce was making fish tea on his channel, I think, a couple of days ago. You realize in the UK there's no fish tea. Well, it's just tea. What are some of the salient culture shocks that actually took you back? Because yes, I'm living the life I was seeing in movies, but no, sir. What is this? Was there something that prepared you for some culture shocks that you just got there and you're like, no, I did not sign up for this?
Oh yeah. There's a few actually, because when I first landed, I came in sandals, jeans, t-shirt, ready to go. Listen,
like walking into a beach randomly.
Yeah, nobody warned me that it was going to be cold. I have a jacket. So when I left the airport, although it was in ending of August, it was still quite cold, and the weather was the first thing that hit me. It was like, oh my god, wow, So the weather for sure, and then when I got to where I was staying, yeah, that shocked me as well because of the size of the houses. Yeah, I was like, what is this?
What do you mean? What do you mean the size of the houses?
Pardon?
What do you mean the size of the houses? I'm very
curious.
The
rooms and the layout of the houses. Like, in Jamaica, not everybody, but most people, they have decent sized houses. If they have a bedroom, it's a decent sized bedroom, But in the UK, you spin around and that's it, covered, done. You
don't like that way. Like the rooms are that tiny.
Yeah, where I was, it was a shock for me. Not all the houses in the UK are like that, but when I first arrived, that was one of the things that stood out to me because I remember phoning my mom in tears. I was so worried because I'm like, where am I going to put my clothes? Where am I put my
Wait,
shoes? And I was like, is that what you're calling crying about? I'm like, and the room is so small. Oh my God, I don't have a wardrobe.
so you're used to having a walk-in closet back in Jamaica, and then you land in London, and you're like asking, where am I going to put my shoes? Like that.
Yeah, because like you know how our house is built, the rooms are massive, and then there's like a built-in wardrobe. You know
Yes.
what I mean? So not to say like we're rich people, you understand? No, not like that. We're just all right, right? Jamaican people. You understand? They were very intentional when they were building. So yeah, it was a huge shock for me, and like even the living space was so tiny, you
Hmm.
know, and I wasn't used to that. Like maybe at my nan's, because when I was younger, my nan's house wasn't very big, you know, but my mom's house was it's a decent size. You know, you have a room for almost every, you know, most things. So yeah, it was a shock. The space was very tiny. I saw the bed was a single bed, like a single bed. Do you know the size of my bed back home?
The way you are saying it,
Yeah, but yeah, that was my genuine reaction. I think these people thought like, who the hell is this? You know, that was just my genuine reaction. Like, I don't think I can stay here. And I remember that same day, like asking them to call my mom. I want to speak to my mom and just let her know, like, no, I'm not happy. I don't like this. You know. But yeah, the size of the houses. Eventually, I adapted. Yeah, it took a
hmm.
while, but I did adapt. You know, um, the food was another thing. I was kind of familiar with some of the foods, but this particular lady or person I was staying with was a family friend.
Yes.
She's very British, like she's Jamaican heritage, but she's very white. You know what I mean? Very British. So it was like sausages for dinner. I'm like, what weird. The chicken there, like
Wait,
seriously.
what? Sausages for dinner?
But sausage, yeah, sausage and mash. No disrespect to the British culture and the British food, because I do like a bit of a sausage and mash and gravy and that. But I'm thinking, where's the curry chicken or white rice or some vegetable? Like, yeah, and give me like a something, some dumpling and thing. Like, there
Like
was none
proper,
of
like
that.
you're actually asking for proper food. Like, where is the proper food?
Yeah, but I never complained. Like in my mind, I was thinking all these things, but I didn't want to be disrespectful. I was just wondering, like, okay, maybe on the weekend you might get a little something. No, it never came. I think we got that at Christmas. It was my mom that did it. Oh God! So yeah, that was a real shock. The food was a shock, but you know what? I can easily adapt to a lot of situations, and I just managed, you know, shortly after I started college. So by then I was mixing, mingling with people from all over, and there's lots of restaurants and stuff. So I used to eat out, you know, sometimes. I used to
Yeah.
love a good Chinese, you know. Yeah, so I just go to Chinese. Sometimes have a little dinner, you know. But yeah, that was a culture shock. Some of the food, the housing, the weather, um, yeah, and the people. Nobody said hello. Nobody.
Oh,
Nobody said hello. Like you walk in the street, and I'm thinking, because I'm usually a bubbly, you know, lively
yeah.
kind of person. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to the shops, and someone like, you're right, you know, hello, and they look at you like, what?
That was my first shock when I was in London in 2019, and I was shocked. Why are people not greeting? Like you're smiling because the African hospitality has trained you better. Like always greet people, always smile to people in the streets.
Yes.
People are not smiling, and
They not smile.
it's
Them look
shocking.
straight, like dead straight. Or they look straight down your soul. Sorry, okay, the Jamaican I come with. They look straight into your soul and just keep moving. You know what I mean? They just look straight at you, eye contact and everything, and then they keep walking, and then you're left there baffled because where we're from, number one, you can't walk past your elders and not say hello. I don't know if
I
it's changed,
know, right?
but when I
You
was
know,
growing up,
Jamaica and Kenya, I think we have the same culture pretty much.
yeah,
Yeah,
you have to be
you,
respectful, man. You can't even just walking past
absolutely.
somebody. Yeah, they'll be like, "What? You never see me? Like, you don't know if to say hello. Like, you don't know how to say hello." And they'll tell your parents, so you better make sure you fix that. So yeah, it was really strange seeing that. I think for me also, like I didn't see much of our kind of people. Well, my kids goes, "You're not black." Anyway, that's another
Mm.
discussion. Anyway, I didn't see a lot of people from my community or background. So that was kind of challenging, except when I went to college. There was a few. So it was kind of hard because there's like nobody to like relate to, talk to on that level. So again, I had to quickly adapt and go with the flow. But yeah, those are some of the culture shocks.
Wow.
On the good side, the shopping was amazing. Oh my god! First time I went to John Lewis's, it's like, wow, you know,
To go back to the
shopping.
shopping. Like, girl, to
I
go
love
back to the
shopping.
shopping.
love, I love shopping. That was one of my go-to. But
And like,
yeah, it was just amazing because my cousin, she was the first time I wore makeup. She was the one that introduced me to makeup. So she introduced me to Clinique. And she would always bring it for me when she's coming to Jamaica. So like I'm now in John Lewis's and I'm seeing all these Clinique products. I'm like, oh my God, wow, makeup. I can buy my own makeup and that. And just walking down Oxford Street was just like heaven.
Oxford City is
But
amazing.
yeah, there's a few good things. The sightseeing, the architecture. I love that. I love the fun side, the going outside. Yeah.
Okay,
But yeah,
you have very interesting comments I want to highlight because I think everybody is just like fascinated with with your recollection of those first days in the UK. The World of Raga says sausages for dinner is not British. Sausages for breakfast made me like what? When I had to see that first time while living there, so even him is German, so you can imagine he's German and he has the. You'll imagine England being close will be a bit soft on him, but yeah.
yeah.
And then you have, and then I think he says, "Nah, people in England don't say hello, especially not in London. See, you need the German or Igbo Pepe to be greeted properly."
Oh my God, Rocket, you know about him, but
Yeah. Hey, how do you know this Igbo story? Why did you like say like you're familiar with the pigeon?
who, me? You're talking well.
Yes, I'm
So
talking
I'm
to you.
married to a Nigerian, and I've got two children that are Nigerian,
Wait, wait,
and
wait, wait, wait. What? You ate that culturally. I love it. I love it.
yeah. So yeah, I'm married to a Nigerian. So I do know quite a bit. I know about the food, the culture. I embrace it 100%. They've even called me, what do they call me? Mishola. I'm like, are you serious? Olua Mishola. That's what my
Olua,
in-laws call me.
Oluwamiyo. Oh my God. Like you're literally.
Yeah, they gave me a name. So yeah, married to Nigerian, got two kids. And yeah, love the culture, love the food, understand the language, some of it. They're Yorubas, so I understand Oimbo, Baoni,
Okay,
Shoauke, Moa, all of them little things.
okay, Misha, stop with the show off. We got it. We got it the first time. We got it. We got it. Yeah, you are pro. You have an oga. You have an
I
oga. See,
do. Big up my
yeah.
Nigerian people, them.
Your in-laws are from Niger. Hey, now
Yeah.
Ragus is going to be so excited. Guys, if you have not connected to this beautiful lady, she's an excellent storyteller. You can listen to her all day. She's an amazing storyteller. If you have not
Oh, thank
connected to
you.
Herb and Spice Kitchen, the link is pinned up there on top of my chat. Make sure you grab it so that you're at least able to be part of our community. And then you'll be able to get the storytelling through food. Marciano says, okay, Island Sister says something here about ragas. They do have bangers and mash for dinner. And
Yeah.
then
It's a
Marciano
thing.
said, yeah, Marciano said, at least we get the plastic smile here. But I totally understand Misha. Living in abroad is one thing, but England is on another level. Heaven help us. Heaven help us. She has acted for 25 years, so and now the mad Misha is on the live stream. Welcome, welcome, Misha Bless. We did not say
Misha Bless. Big up Misha Bless.
big up yourself, Misha Bless. Nice to see Misha Bless has arrived. Who had called Misha Bless on this live stream, by the way? somebody went and called Misha Bless. The live team was just fine until Misha Bless walked in. Bev Artist Kitchen, welcome, welcome, Bev Artist. Anastasia, I see you, sis. Lady M, welcome, welcome, Lady M. Thanks so much for coming in. Guys, if you have any question you want to ask Herbs and Spice Kitchen, feel free to drop it on the chat. I will be able to pin it there for her so that she's able to see. It can even be a comment, it can be a compliment. If you also have your own similar experiences having settled in the UK, feel free to also drop it on the chat so that we can we can highlight it for her. Herbs and Spice Kitchen. Why that particular name, like Herb and Spice Kitchen? It's very creative. First of all, I love it. I love the wordplay that is in there in terms of the name. But why Herbs and Spice Kitchen? And when was the first time you realized? Because you say you love shopping. I don't see shopping going on Herbs and Spice Kitchen. I just see food that is
right.
food that I'm just like, that is making me hungry. Why Herbs and Spice Kitchen as opposed to Herb and Spice shopping?
Well, again, one of my biggest passions is food. I love food. Okay, and don't come for me because some people are like, yeah, we can tell. Yeah, the British joke, or even Jamaican joke. Yeah, we can tell. We can, all of this. But no, I do love food. I've always been a foodie from back even in Jamaica. I used to go to the city. I used to love trying. Well, when I say city, because there's two cities, main cities, there's Kingston and Montego Bay. So I used to go to Kingston a lot, just to try different foods. I remember also there's a place that I used to go to called Chinese International. I would drive there just to get dinner because I did not want what my mom made. I'm not ungrateful, I just tired a little, want something different. So yeah,
you love fine things generally. You have a taste. You seem to love the fine things that life has to offer.
Why not? God make it go, that's why not.
All right, no comments.
Why not? Listen, we have to enjoy this life. You know what I mean? It's not just made for one set of people. Live within your means and do what you can and enjoy life. That's just how I live. But yeah, I've always been a foodie. I've always loved food. And so another thing I realized was I cook. Before I got ill, I used to cook a lot. I used to do a lot of parties, like barbecues, and my barbecues were packed. Like, I remember one time there's so many people. It was scary. There's that many people because I didn't realize how many people would have turned up. So I used to do like treats for the children, like April time, Easter time. So I would do like an Easter egg hunt, and organize it in the garden, summer barbecues. My in-laws, we had this thing that we used to do every summer, 10th of August. If you're watching, if you know. Like, it was almost like a networking kind of barbecue, but it just turned into this huge thing. So I was always cooking like Goga. I would do like boxes of chicken, and shout out to Mesha Bless, because I see you doing what you're doing and feeding the homeless and doing that cooking. I know it's not easy because I've done it, So I'm used to doing like cooking on a mass scale. I'm used to entertaining. Like, if you come to my house, Goga, best believe the table's gonna set and you're gonna have the full service.
That's an invitation. I'm coming to your house for sure. Like,
hook me up, bro. You understand? So even at home, it's just like if I'm making breakfast, I like to make it pretty, you know what I mean? Or even if it's just simple bacon and eggs, I'm going to arrange it really nicely on the plate and make sure the egg look a certain way. It's just what's in me. It's just my love and passion for food. And so I remember when one of my nephews, in-laws, got married, and his wife, she's into marketing and all that. And she was like, Auntie Mish, you should create a website and put this food online. You make so much money. I'm like, no, that's not my thing. That's not what I want to do. It's like, that's not for me. I just love cooking and entertaining people. But she's like, no, seriously, it could be a really good business. Like, I can help with marketing. I can put in contact with people and that. And she's like, you could do like festivals and stuff like that. But for me, I shunned away from it because I didn't want to do that at that particular time. Plus, my children were a bit younger. So I didn't want to take on too much that would affect, all of that all the children and family life. So yeah, but she was like on me about that. And because we do these barbecues and stuff, and like the food and what they see I do at home is like, if you invite me to anywhere, like if you invite me to your house for 5 minutes, I'm coming for full spread. I can't help it. that's just that's just me. Big up yourself, bitch. Food is my life. Exactly. So yeah, that's why I decided. Again, I was speaking to this particular in-law, and she does blogs. So she works in finance and marketing, and she was saying to me, like, you could do like a food blog. I can help you with it, I can show you the ropes, all of that. And she, showed me what she was doing. I wasn't interested because I'm like, don't ask me for it, not darling. I can talk, I can tell you, but don't ask me to write it, yeah, because uni was difficult. You understand? I don't want to be going through that again. So she's like, oh no, you don't have to do it. You can just like voice record it, and I'll do whatever's. And I said to her, I think I'll probably prefer to do YouTube instead of a blog, like a food blog. So yeah, that's where things started. But prior to that, I've always wanted, when I heard about YouTube 2007, it was my friend's daughter. Fun story. I was pregnant and I didn't know. And in 2007, I remember we went to visit them, and my friend was like, I think there's another child coming. I'm like, never again. After this first one, I'm not going back down that road again. The PN is too much. Cannot manage it. And then she's like, no, I think something's going on. And then they were playing like some really nice old school Jamaican Christian music. And I was like, where you get them things they're from? And I'm like, where'd you get those CDs? And she's like, oh, so and so got it from YouTube. I'm like, what is YouTube? So I had no idea about YouTube then. I was like, YouTube. She's like, oh, it's this thing online where you can go and you can download music, and back then you could do it. It wasn't a problem then. So that's the first time I heard about YouTube. And then
to be fair, YouTube was only 3 years old by then.
Yeah, it came out 2005, 6.
Yeah, it's around 2000. Yeah, thereabout.
Roundabout, or even earlier.
They are celebrating 20 years this year.
Oh, yeah. So, 2005. Yeah. So yeah, that's the first time I heard about YouTube. Then didn't do anything about that. 2009, I was a stay-at-home mom for about 5 years. Yeah, and maybe I have to be doing something. I'm not someone that sits still. I need to be doing something. My brain needs to be going. My hands need to be moving. So I started volunteering in my local children's centre stroke nursery. So my daughter was going to nursery and had my son. So they did something called like a drop-in centre. So you come, you bring your child, you mix and mingle with parents, so you don't get depressed, locking up in the house all day, So so did that. And sorry, I'm getting a little glitch. So yeah, while I was there, again, we used to put on events like just for the parents, so by then I was volunteering. Sorry. By then I started going there, meet people. I'm like, I need to be useful. Started volunteering, putting on like little coffee mornings and little things for the parents and the children. So me again, showed up with load of whole heap of food. Oh my God, this jerk chicken is nice. Oh wow, I like this salad, So, and then I remember some of the staff from the nursery, they were like, oh, Mesha, you should do us lunches. I'm like, I don't think I can do that. I've got 2 kids looking after. And one of them was very persistent. She's like, no, come on, seriously, this is something you can do. I'm like, okay, how about a couple of days of the week, maybe once or twice, I'll make some food and I'll bring it to you guys, And then I remember one week I went and there was this guy, I'm not going to call his name, but he's also a foodie and he loves Jamaican food. And I made a curry. So I made 2 curries. I made an Indian curry and I made a Jamaican curry. And he was like, oh my God, this is a white guy. He's like, this food is so banging. I'm like, oh, thank you. And they were like, you should put your food on YouTube. I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, YouTube. We can upload food stuff on YouTube. Again, I had no idea what YouTube was about, then in 2009. And then I remember I changed my phone and I got what's it called? I don't remember. Anyway, I got a phone and I downloaded the app. I downloaded YouTube. So I didn't see any cooking videos. I started watching it for other things, but I didn't see any cooking or anything like that. So I'm like, what are they talking about? Again, I just scrapped that. And yeah, so fast forward to 2018, no, 2012, I had a plan. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do YouTube because now I know new YouTube and I know what YouTube is about, and it's a big thing now. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, actually, I can upload my video, but how do I record these things? Because again, I was doing a lot of cooking. I did a lot of cooking for church, like church events, family friends events. I would just cook. That's one of my love language. That's how I show people that I care about. I love you, but I'll feed you at the same time. So yeah, um, 2012, I started researching how to start a YouTube channel. Listen, none of it made any sense. YouTube Studio, what is that? Where do I even find that? So I was like, nah. I think I'm supposed to study this because I just couldn't get my head around it. I forgot this guy. He's very, very popular on YouTube, Marcus something. And it was his video that I came across. I'm like, man, I understand nothing. Sorry, I don't understand anything this man is saying. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just leave it. So left it 2012, carried on with my life. And then 2018, I went back to school. I wanted to do a business degree. So I wanted to launch my own business, but like with food. So I wanted to do like brunches and events and that kind of stuff, because I kept getting told like, oh, you can monetize this. This could be a good business. You're wasting your gift. All of these, you Nigerian people, you know yourselves, okay?
It's like how you're calling them out.
I'm calling you lot out. I mean, I love them because I love their entrepreneurial spirits. They're anywhere they see opportunities, mate, they're gonna grab it. So yeah, I thought, okay, all right then. Let me just try and do something. So when I went to uni, I remember first day in lectures and someone came to speak to us and it's like, think about why you're here, think about your purpose, like what you really, really want to achieve, take it seriously. And I thought going to uni, doing a business degree would that would set me up to set up a business. I didn't know they don't really teach you certain things until halfway through, because I remember asking the lecturer, so how do you make money? And she's like, they will never teach you that. They'll never teach you. I'm sorry, this might be controversial, but they will never teach you how to make money. I'm like, what? Why am I here then? Because I'm doing a business degree to learn how to set up this business thing, how to do taxes and how to make my money. And she's like, off the record, nah. They'll teach you how to go and find a job, but not how to make how to make money kind of thing. So yeah, so that happened, but that got me thinking. And I came home. I remember coming home and I had a plan, writing things down, brainstorming. Okay, this is what I want to do. This is my business idea, all of that stuff. And I had people that I could go to in my network, but I wanted to do this by myself, if that makes sense. Like for me, I want to go on this journey by myself. If I need you, then I'll come. So yeah, that's what happened. And then I remember there was some guys in my year, and they too had business ideas, and they came with the same idea, like, we want to launch our business, this is my business idea, this is what I've been doing, this is what I want to do. And then mine came up about food, and and there was a guy there, and he was like, why don't you do YouTube? Like, you can that would be a good place for you to start, like put your recipes out there. And I'm like, YouTube, and it's like keep coming back and like, God, is this a
Yes.
sign?
The universe is sending you signs from different people.
Yeah. Is this a sign? Like, so yeah, 2018 was when I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this YouTube thing. Go. I wish I didn't delete that video. I would have sent it to you so you can play it. So I have one of my friends, right? She's Filipino, and I said to her, listen, because again, I love traveling. So we do like family holidays together. And she always said, like, we should record these holidays because they're always so much fun. Like, we should record these holidays and put them on YouTube. But our family, they're like, nah, I don't want nothing to do with YouTube, or the internet. So like, we can't do that. Anyway, I said to her, this is what I'm thinking. Maybe we should do YouTube. This is what they've said at uni, yada, yada, yada. So we discussed it. She's like, all right, then. I'm like, but I'm going to need somebody to record me. Because, again, I don't know YouTube yet. I'm still learning. So I need a cameraman or camera woman in her case. So it was like, okay, I don't know where to buy a camera. I didn't even think about Amazon. So I went to a shop in the UK called Corrie's. A lot of people from UK, they would know. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna buy a first camera, and I'm excited and everything. When we bought I'm telling you, one of the worst cameras. We bought a camera. I bought a good tripod because the guy was like, this is a very good tripod. It's quite popular nowadays. This is what the YouTubers use. But the camera was so rubbish. It's ridiculous. Anyway, to do YouTube, I'm like, maybe we should do like mukbangs, because that was trending back then,
Yes.
And I love mukbangs. I'm like, let me just start with mukbangs. These people, they don't show their face, but they're eating. I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Because I don't want people to see me out here in these streets. You understand? It was so bad. So we made the food. It was an Asian dish. It was like a noodle dish. And throughout the whole time, we were just laughing because my friend was just laughing so bad. And she's like, Mesha, if you see yourself, I'm like, is this what these people do on this YouTube thing, man? This is not for me. I'm not going to choke. Yeah, so that was my very, very first video. And then, again, I left it for a while. Got to 2020, 2019. So I went to Jamaica and I came back and I decided that, yeah, I'm going to really go for this YouTube thing. I really need to, this food thing, get it out there and get the ball rolling. So I decided to okay, get a better camera. And then 2020, I came across Sean Cannell. Guys, if you don't know Sean Cannell, yeah, that's the guy. So I came across Think Media, and
I love Think Media. They're one of I find them very thin and decent as opposed to other people on the streets.
Yeah, and they know what they're talking about. They've got the experience, they've got the clientele. So I came across Sean Cannell. I was watching another YouTuber that I really loved, and he mentioned it briefly, just very briefly, but I catch it, And I was like, because I was wondering, how do they do it? Because when you want to learn, you're just watching videos after videos, and you see them doing it, and they're doing it so well. And I'm like, I want to learn. And this guy mentioned it very briefly, and I caught it, and I was like, okay, let me research who this person was. Research it, found Sean Cannell, and probably was a rush decision, but I went and bought his course. So today I haven't even reached halfway on that course, and it's so expensive. But I thought, right, if I learn from the professionals, and to be honest, I've learned quite a bit from them. I've really learned YouTube and how YouTube works and the functioning, and a lot of it I still need to do and implement, but I think I got what I needed to start. And so that's how I started my channel. Now, I had videos recorded because I was practicing, you know what I mean? And I was struggling with the editing and I couldn't come up with a name. And I was like, what am I going to call this channel? And a friend of mine, she's what is she? A graphic designer, is that what they're called? They make websites and stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry,
the web designers and stuff. Yeah.
Right, web designer. And so I told her, this is what I want to do. And she's like, okay, I'll whip up something for you. And she's like, oh, what's the name? But I was now thinking of more like a Jamaican kind of thing. So I'm like, I want to showcase Jamaican food, because that's what I was cooking a lot, and then other types of food that I liked. And so she created a banner for me. I had no idea what a banner even was, but she knew about these things. And I was like, I want it to be called Paradise on a Plate, because I'm thinking of Jamaica, the tropics, the food, all of that come together on one plate. That's what I was so she did these banners, and I was like, nah, that's not it. Nah, that's not. It was so picky, and she just got fed up. She's like, Mesha, you're on your own. But looking back, I was like, man, what she did was very good, But I don't know. It just wasn't it didn't sit with me like this is what it should be called, Paradise. Although it sounded very good, and the banner was nice. And then I remember my daughter was like, 2020 came, beginning of 2020 came, and I was like, man, I spent all this money, I paid for this course, like 2000 plus, which is a bad decision, guys. It's free on YouTube. You don't need to go pay for an expensive course. But I paid for the course. I bought equipment. Like I bought two cameras. I broke one. I bought Goga. Name it. I bought it. I bought tripods. I
Wow.
bought lights. Different types of lights. Different types of tripods. Because I'm like, this is a business. So I'm approaching like, hey, I'm going to invest
I'm
in this
investing.
business.
I'm investing in my business.
Yeah, if I take it serious, I'm going to invest in this business and it's going to pay me back later. And I bought
Yeah.
all these things like the gliding thing to capture it. It wasn't needed. So did that. And then I think I was a little bit out of it. And I remember my daughter said to me, Mom, I can help you. I'm like, I said, I need to edit the videos. I'm struggling with that. I don't know how to do it. I don't know what to name the channel. And she's like, Mom, what do you like to do? What do you like to use when you're cooking? And bless my little Rachel. She's a darling.
Oh,
And she's
I hope
like,
she
what do you like?
is. Thank you for thank. I mean, I like where you signed up for the courses. You spent money on gear and stuff like that, and then the wisdom comes from your daughter.
Lick a
Isn't
pig
that isn't that fascinating? Like she was there right all along. Like she
all
was literally
along.
yeah.
Yeah, fun fact. Honestly, like a lot of what I do on YouTube, she's behind it. Even me being here today, if you see what's going on behind the scenes, like mom, come, you need to get into your dress. Like sometimes nowadays because of health stuff, I don't really wear a lot of makeup. She's like, no, got to do your makeup. I've got to do this. I've got to do. She does a lot for me, and bless her. But yeah, like you said, it was sitting right in front of me the whole time, and then she was like, oh, what do you like to use in your cooking? I said, well, for me, one thing I don't like is lots of I like natural seasonings, if that makes sense. So I like herbs and I like spices. And she's like, Mom, you can use herbs, call it herbs and spice. I'm like, anybody here, herbs coming from a Jamaican, they're gonna think about, you understand? The high media, the green stuff.
They're going to think about that tab.
They're gonna think about the wrong herb. So I'm like, I'm not sure about that. I don't think. But she's like, Mom, it's good because that's what I was doing anyway. If I'm making like, say for example, all-purpose seasoning, I'll put my own together and make my own, so there's no added nothing in it. So she's like, yeah. So she's like, name it Herbs and Spice Kitchen. So I'm like, okay, we'll just try it. I'll see. So I took her advice, and that's how the name came about, Herbs and Spice Kitchen. But it's a true reflection of who I am and what I do. So, yeah, so that's how we got to the name. And why cooking? It's one of my greatest passion. I never get bored of doing it. I think it's an art, and you can be very expressive with your cooking, your presentation. A lot of what I do, it's not even on the channel because sometimes it's not as easy filming and cooking as to just go in the kitchen and just do your thing, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But yeah, so that's why I chose to do cooking instead of fashion. But you might see that on the vlog channel. I've got.
I love that. I love that, and I think it's a very great thing. You just reflecting in terms of how the channel was born. You raised some very cogent points, especially around investing in your channel and starting small, regardless of I like the big dreams. Let me you bought the camera. I like how you said you broke that camera. Those beginnings
Yeah,
of like you're spending so much on content
yeah,
when the knowledge is literally, I like what you said about the knowledge was literally on YouTube. I just needed to like
yeah,
get there. I did not need to like pay so much for it. And
yeah.
I think that's a very nice way of also just encouraging the content creators who are watching you here. There's some very interesting comments on the chat. Let me just like highlight them so that we don't lose them out. But people are laughing. People are laughing like crazy and enjoying how you are telling the story. Especially when you said when you brought in the hub story, that everybody just you took out everybody on the chat. Everybody just like on the floor. He's like, what hub? What hub? What hub?
Exactly. Because even
What?
like sometimes I get messages on YouTube, like, or even if I'm on a live stream and they go herbs and they'll put the green.
I know. Oh yeah, the green, the leaf. You should put it as a. You should put it as your emoji. It's no publicity is bad publicity. I'm sure you've learned this now
Exactly.
on the streets. Um,
Yes, that's a
a
good
few
idea.
comments here. Rebecca Prince saying full service. Okay, UK. My neighbor Misha inbox me your address.
All right.
There's a collaboration happening there. The world of
Okay,
Raga.
Rebecca.
Yeah. The Lord of Raga says, can you please FedEx me some of the meals? I am hungry. Let me tell you, I've been putting these foods that are running on the screen and everybody's just like getting hungry all of a sudden. That is part of Misha's masterpieces, guys. You will find these things on her channel. She's done videos for all these pictures you're seeing running across the screen. Island Sister says, it's a Jamaican thing. We love to feed people our beautiful cuisine.
Yes.
Um, Okay, and then Ndivu, who is new on the live stream. Ndivu, I hope you've connected to Misha, or the link is pinned on top of the chat. And welcome to this beautiful community. Ndivu says, wow, the food looks so good and delicious. Yes, she did not
Thank
come to play.
you.
She did not come to play. And then Ndivu says, I love your story, Misha. It is so interesting. It is so
Thank
interesting. Kanini Kanene says, she's so beautiful. Is it because of the herbs and spice? Okay, maybe she will tell us the secret, and then she ran to watch your videos. The last time she was spotted on your videos. Tonya Stock says, you are amazing. You are amazing.
Oh,
East
thank
African,
you.
yeah, East African workout girl is like, Misha was so determined. She was laughing at this when you were asking, what is YouTube? Yeah. And also the determination to just like learn what it's all about. And
Yeah.
then this food is making my mouth watery. Red Room says she's very entertaining. Yeah, I love listening to Misha
Oh,
speak because you are laughing, but she's also telling a story, so she's not like just making stories that don't have any legs, but you can get the where she's going with the story. Um, then you're getting a compliment there. What I was just saying, her storytelling is on point. She's taking us on a journey in such great detail,
oh
but also
wow.
with
Thank
a
you.
lot of humor. So these are some of the comments that are just coming in through the chat. And yes, Cordelia is saying she's so beautiful indeed.
Oh
This
wow.
yeah, there's something that you said about would you say that it is your upbringing that made food something that you gravitated towards in terms of it being a passion, cooking? Um, is it something that you picked up from the family, or it's just something you developed a hobby for, like an interest in as a hobby as you're growing up? Just checking real quick.
Yeah, I would say definitely I've picked it up from my family from growing up. So I'm mixed Jamaican or I'm not gonna use that term, but you Jamaicans know what it is. I'm a Indian Jamaican, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Mm.
So my mom is a full Indian, Jamaican Indian. Her lineage goes back to India. And then my dad is mixed, so he's Indian, Syrian, a little
Wait,
bit of Chinese,
whoa!
African. Yeah, our lineage is really mixed. Like,
You have like I don't know. You have like I don't know how many ancestries right there. They're like over
yeah,
nearly 10 ancestries right there.
quite a bit because my great gran, which they say I look like her, but yeah, she's got Chinese and Syrian. My granddad, he's white, or he's a white Jamaican by my
Yeah.
dad's side. Um, my dad's mom, she's Afro Caribbean.
Whoa.
Yeah, and my mom, she's full Indian. So excuse me. So yeah, I picked her up from I would say my mom, also my grandmother, but mainly my mom because my mom feeds the whole world. My mom feeds our community. If you go to my community and you call my mother's name, most people knows her. They know my dad, and I grew up seeing her cook. She was a stay-at-home mom as well, and she would cook breakfast, and not just like a piece of toast kind of breakfast, like a full breakfast, like some fried dumpling and ackee and saltfish kind of breakfast. And she would cook breakfast. She would cook for my dad's workers. And there was quite a bit of them, and because he has his own business and employs quite a lot of people in the community. So she would cook to feed the workmen. She'd feed her family, and people would just show up, and she's like, "Oh, do you want some breakfast?" And she would feed them, and if it runs out, she would make more, you know.
Wow.
And she would do the same with lunch and dinner. So my household was very busy at my mom's, very busy. There's always people there. There's always activities. People just show up, and she would just feed them. She would feed 50 plus people sometimes, and we would have situations where we come in from school, we are dead for hungry. Yeah, I mean we're very hungry, and dinner not ready yet. Like, why? Everybody else eat. So how comes we? And she's like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. So and so come visit, and me have to give them your dinner. I'm like, that no right, that no fear. If you get them with dinner, she said, "What dinner soon done? Me I cook. I'm cooking it. I'm cooking your food." Yeah, it was that kind of life. But yeah, she loved people. She loved feeding, and it goes back to her culture, Indian culture. Jamaicans, what I'm talking about. I always say, because when I came to the UK, I realized how rich that side of my culture was, and like I didn't see it as anything. It's like, okay, yeah, Indian. They have a name they call them in Jamaica. I'm not going to say it on here because you're not supposed to say it. But yeah, they're a very tight knit community. And I think wherever Indians go, they're like that. They're very, very family orientated. They love food. That's how they share their love. They eat together. And so I grew up seeing my grandparents when I used to go visit. They would do the same thing. They make rotis and coffee in the morning and all that.
Nice.
Big pots of rice and curry, and like everybody, like they would in Jamaica we say like they would smell the pot. In Jamaica, like you can smell the food, and then that would draw them in, and they come and eat. So yeah, so I think I picked that up from my mum. Till today, she's still doing that. Maybe not on such a big scale, but she still does the same. The other day, two of my friends from the UK went to Jamaica, and they stayed with her for 3 weeks, and they're like, "I think we've gained weight."
They were fed.
They were fed. Yeah, no offense, but yeah. So yeah, I think I got it from there. And my nan also she was one of those people that would cook as well, and she liked to entertain, especially on a Sunday. We used to have like cricket competitions and like football in the community centre.
Oh, wow.
And then people just come over and eat after or have a shower. Some people from out of the area. So just random people just showing up. I'm like, "Oh, who are you? Me don't know you. Where you come from?" They're like, "Who are you?"
Nice.
But yeah, so yeah, I think I got it from them. And also my dad, like my real dad, because he's a Rastafarian. I mean, he's got hair like mine, but okay, he wears a tom. I don't think it's like a knotted dread kind of thing, but he's a Rastafarian and he likes to cook as well, and he eats clean, like how Rastafarians eat. So yeah, those are my influences when it comes to food, and I think that's where I picked up my love for food. I think in Jamaica, I didn't cook as much because my mom would always do it. But when I got to the UK, then I realized, oh, I really do love cooking. And then these Niger people, they're like, we want some jack chicken. This is like, Niche, they call me Niche. Niche, when are we eating jack chicken? My mother-in-law, she's always like, I want some jack chicken. So I started cooking, and then she taught me how to cook Nigerian cuisine, and that was another thing for me. I just exploring like the different cultures and the food and the flavors and the different techniques and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a combination. So a combination of my mom, my granddad, my grandparents, and from my in-laws.
It's a very, I like what Red's Room said on the chat, and even what Nino and Lo said. Nino says, "Oh my God, that's the entire world. She literally has the entire world, backing her up, just backing her distance." And Nino and Lo says,
nationality no want.
Yeah, what a rich melting pot! What a rich melting pot, and it shows. I'm very curious because so you come already from it's like a multi-rich, ancestry. It's all over the place. It's all over the world. You can't even I don't know. Somebody may think you're Chinese. Somebody may think you're Indian. Somebody may not even predict that you're Jamaican. There's all that going on there. You married to an African. You married to an African man. So your kids now are borrowing your ancestry in addition to their African heritage. Um, I don't know. Have you been to Africa? I'm just fascinated. I'm fascinated. Have you been to like Nigeria where your in-laws, your in-laws are from?
Actually, I've not been to Nigeria. And that is one thing, but that's going to change. Yeah, I
Of
know. So, backstory, I had this thing, right? So, how do I start? Back home, we're in Jamaica. I know it's changed now, but when it comes to like Africans or Nigerians in particular, I'd be like, you can't trust them, that kind of thing. Be careful,
yes.
eyes
Mm,
open. And no disrespect to anybody, but yeah, I remember even coming to the UK, my aunt cautioned me, like literally sat me down and spoke to me and told me because she used to travel a lot. She goes to the US a lot back then, and she said, "Make sure so they got England, I'm married no African, no disrespect, but this is my reality." And I didn't understand why she said that because her sister in law married one and had a bad experience, and so she was like, make sure say you don't get married no African. And I'm like, okay, I heard you. Yeah. All right. Came to the UK. I'm telling you, 90%, no, 80% of my friends are Africans. Not just Jamaican, not just Nigerians,
yes.
Africans. I have a large group of African friends. And so sorry, I forgot the question. Could you ask the question again? Sorry.
Yes, I was asking
Remind me.
about you coming to Nigeria. So you're I think
Yeah,
you're
going to
back,
Nigeria.
you're building
Yeah.
up the story about your friends being Africans and
Mhm.
yeah,
So yeah, I just I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go. And I was thinking, and even with the children, because like, you want to take children there to meet the family, the culture.
yeah.
I was like, nah, I can't repeat them go Africa. Nope, not doing it. And yeah, I think that needs to change, to be honest. I think now I'm ready. Before I had a lot of doubts.
Yeah.
I just don't feel I would have been safe. I know I would be safe, but because of what I've heard, you know what I mean? But I think now, like with YouTube and the internet, you're seeing a totally different,
And you
because
get to interact with people and you're seeing the people there, and so I think that's a
yeah.
good
And I
thing.
remember their dad would be like, Africa is not what they make. It's not that bad, honestly. But he would go, but no, darling, I'll come with you. It's all right. You go and send you. I mean, I'll come now here. But yeah,
Right.
I think that's going to change. I think we have talked about like a big family trip because even some family members here have not ever been either, on their side. So yeah, I'm been. I know. Sorry.
Oh, good, 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 good. Yeah, good talk. And I mean, Africa, the motherland will always be happy to have you. Nino
Yeah.
and Lo is already getting excited. Like, oh, I love the blend of cultures. I'm going to visit. Nino and Lo, you're welcome to Kenya. You can start with Kenya before you go to Misha's in-laws. Misha's in-laws. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can pass by Kenya and then you just do like a
Yeah.
U trip. Priscilla, welcome. Once again, guys, if you have not connected to the beautiful co-host, the link is pinned up there on top of my chat. That is the link to her channel if you don't have it. We are speaking today to Herb and Spice Kitchen. Herb and Spice Kitchen. Okay, so this is the beautiful lady you're seeing on the screen is Misha. Not Misha Bless. We have to clarify this. Not Misha Bless. Misha Bless is there busy collecting receipts on the live stream. This is Misha Herb and Spice Kitchen. Herb and Spice Kitchen. At least there's one thing they have in common. They all love food. They all love food. They all love
Yeah.
they
Big
all
up
love
Misha, man. I love
like
Misha
the
Bless.
youth food. Yes, that is the person we are speaking to today. We are not multi-streaming. For we made there was a decision that was made for that reason. So the best you can do is connect to her. She's on the road to. I think she only needs like 20 to get to her next milestone. So make sure you like round off those numbers. Make sure you round off those numbers by connecting to Herb and Spice Kitchen. Tulips, nice to see you, Tulips. Bosede, I see you there with your spare house. Thanks so much, Bosede. Redrum is saying, I give up. What do you give up on? What do you give up on? Nino and Lo are saying they are coming to Kenya. You are most welcome. I'll be happy to have you here.
Ooh.
Happy to have you here. So Herb and Spice, you talked about 2020, and you talked about you fell ill, and And it's one of the things that really stands out on your channel, because one of the reasons you do what you do on YouTube is also one of the things that you try to cook in such a way. You have the cooking is like mindful, and it is it's also like a credit to like your health as well.
Mhm.
Walk us through this, because 2020 was a very difficult time, because this was COVID. This was the COVID era. This was like when the world shut down, literally. Um, and most people discovered their hobbies around 2020. Most people discovered YouTube in 2020.
Mhm.
Most people became creators. Most of us used to be consumers of YouTube pre 2020, but most of us transitioned into creation post 2020. What happened? What happened, and why is like health a very pivotal part of your channel, as much as we are talking about food?
So yeah, like you said, 2020 was a really life-changing time. To backtrack a little bit, I remember when I did my first video and I was struggling with the editing, and my daughter told me again, she stepped in and she was like, "Mom, I can learn editing and I'll help you." And she did within a few days, or the next day actually, because she stayed up late in the night learning editing, and she learned Premiere Pro. Because again, Think Media, that's what they encourage you to learn Premiere Pro. So she learned it, and she was the one that helped me to edit my first video and helped me to get the video out. So I was ready to go 2020, like, yeah, I'm going to do this YouTube thing, career, school, family, and now I'm going to, follow my dream and have my business, and start with YouTube. And then I think I posted my first video, I think, after I got ill. So COVID came, and I know this is, let me just say, anything I say in this
Yes.
video, is this interview, it's not medical advice, it's my personal experiences. If you have any health concerns, contact your medical practitioner and get help. Okay, this is just my experiences, things I've experienced. These are my views. Okay, so don't hold me to that. Don't seek medical advice, seek it the proper way. So yeah, so I worked in healthcare, and then COVID hit. And during that time, obviously, it's so new. We've been hearing about it in China, in Italy, lots of fatalities, lots of horror stories, bad things happening, people dying, and that kind of stuff. I think it was a scary time for a lot of people. So a lot of people don't know, but I'm also a low-key prepper. I buy stuff in abundance. like I like to be prepared. So in case there's a storm, you've got the right equipment and stuff, or if there's a hurricane, I like to prep. So I I listen to certain kind of outlets where I get my news from, and I have certain way of thinking and certain beliefs. So I knew something was coming. I didn't know what it was. And I remember saying it to my friends, and they're like, "Oh, here she goes again with conspiracy," because I was like, "If I know this information, let me share it with you guys." And yeah, so I was kind of prepared in some way. I didn't know what was going to happen. COVID hit, and a lot of people in my uh, line of work chose to stay home. They didn't want to have to be out there. They wanted to protect themselves, protect their families. And so, because of my work and my position, I had no choice but to be in the front lines. And we were called, frontline workers.
Yeah.
And so I remember I was working 7 days a week. I was working really long hours, barely any rest. I've got a family to think about, but because I worked with vulnerable people, I had a duty of care and a responsibility. And I think when you're in a crisis like that, it's like fight or flight, and we're going to
Yeah.
fight. And so I was out there doing my best for my community, or my country. And I ended up catching COVID. I caught COVID. I didn't realize how bad it was. I didn't realize how ill I was, because I was still working, and I remember I was out in the field at work and I couldn't move. I didn't know why I couldn't move, and I couldn't drive. I just couldn't move my body. And I remember phoning my director and I told him I'm resigning. He was just like shocked. What is this? Out of nowhere, she's resigning. And I told him I'm resigning. I don't feel well. Um, I think prior to that, I might have caught COVID. And I didn't realize, because at the time, not many people knew what it was. They didn't know some of the symptoms. It was so unknown, and so yeah, I got ill. So my director, I just didn't feel myself. I've never ever ever felt like that in my entire life. Like, you catch a flu and you think, yeah, some honey and lemon and that, sleep a little bit, sweat, drink some rum if you're Jamaican, sorry, a little bit of white rum, and sweat it out. But this was different. And I never used to be somebody that would be ill a lot. I rarely went to the doctors. Like a year would pass and I had no reason to go there. Like, I think I was quite healthy then. So I caught COVID and nearly died. It was so serious, and I mean, it went to the point where they had to phone my mother to say, you need to go to the hospital, because at the time there was so much uncertainty. Do you go to the hospital? Do you not go to the hospital? When do you phone 999? There was so many blurred lines. But yeah, I remember like praying, asking the Lord, like, God, what am I supposed to do? But I felt strongly inside of me, like, I must not go into the hospital. I just felt that I must not go to the hospital. I didn't know why, but I just, I think the Lord was directing me, And so it got to the point where it was so serious. I was struggling to breathe. I was struggling to speak. It was bad. And I remember like sitting on the side of my bed in the night when everybody's asleep and just praying and just asking God, like, direct me, tell me, what should I do? Like, do I stay home? Am I going to be okay? Or, all of that kind of stuff. And I remember like I got in the shower, mind you, I'm struggling. Got in the shower, had a shower. I came downstairs, I tidied the house because I'm like, let me get everything nice and clean, like, make sure everything's in order just in case you get sick. And, again, that's a Jamaican thing, because in Jamaica, they tell you, make sure you leave your yard clean. Yeah, which means make sure you leave your house clean. Because if you go outside and you faint or you drop down and they bring you home, they should not bring you home to a dirty house. And don't get me wrong, my house wasn't dirty, but I was making sure that everything was just how it should be. So I did that, and then I phoned the ambulance, and they phoned the ambulance, and I remember ambulance came out, and sorry, I'm getting a bit slow because sometimes
no worries, good time.
I get a bit slow, yeah. So ambulance came. They realized, from just talking, we're both all healthcare workers, and so I remember that one of the guys was testing me and he checked my temperature and everything, and he said, based on everything that we're seeing, we think you have COVID. You've contracted COVID. And he was like, listen, we can take him to the hospital. I'm not saying don't come to the hospital, but we can take him to the hospital if you wish. But what's happening at the moment, there's ambulances backed up. There's people in the ambulances. They haven't even reached the corridors because it's completely blocked with hospital beds and people still in the corridors. Like, it's just manic. So it's like, if you want to go in, we can take you in. If not, what I'd advise you to do is to phone your GP on Monday, explain the situation, request antibiotics, and see how that goes. And then obviously, like, you're at that point, I was, guys, and I tell you, I was really, really struggling. I was in the danger zone, you know. And I just remember just like in just praying inside and just like asking God for guidance. And I said, okay, I'll wait. I won't go in. And I waited, and we phoned doctors first thing Monday morning, explained what was happening, because I also developed UTI, urine infection. And so told them, you know, this was happening. This is what I was advised to get antibiotics. And so the doctor prescribed it. A friend went to pick it up. Obviously, you know, you can't leave your house. People can't come to your house, all of that stuff, you know. So got the antibiotics. And within like an hour, 2 hours, my voice came back and I felt a bit better. But I wasn't completely healed. Do you know what I mean? Like it wasn't gone completely, but it made the situation better. I wasn't like, because when I was talking, I was like, it was like that. Like I couldn't get a sentence out. And then that changed after getting the antibiotics. So that was the first time I caught COVID. And then I didn't realize how it would affect your body, how it affects the immune system. And so I was at home for quite some time because I realized I was struggling to move. Then I was bedbound for about 8 months.
I was at
I
home
was
for quite
struggling to
some
eat.
time.
I was struggling to eat. I couldn't really move. Other things started happening in my body. So yeah, it was quite serious. So that happened, and then stayed at home for about 8 months. And then I thought I was getting better, you know, and me being me and being a little bit stubborn, if I must say, um, did not listen to the advice of some people. We've got medics in our family, and I just wanted to go back out to work, you know, and I went back to work, and I noticed that things were so different. Like, I was much slower, you know, because normally I'm like that, you know, I'm go, 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 go. I can get a million things done in the day, you know, and my brain's usually sharp, and like I've noticed like I get tired easily. Um, to even speak was an issue. And I just didn't understand what was going on. I'm thinking, maybe you need to detox or some, you know, something like that, or maybe I need to. I just didn't think it was linked to COVID at all because it wasn't talked about. It was just talked about, like, okay, there's COVID. People catch it. Some people live. Some people don't make it, unfortunately. But the after effects, we didn't hear anything about long COVID. That was never a thing because it was quite early. There wasn't a vaccine at the time, you know. And so that happened, went back to work, struggled through that. Just remember being in a lot of pain, like a lot of agony. Like I had two kids, is nothing compared to that. Like having two children is a walk in the park. Yeah, from my experience. That pain, I can't. It's like it goes into your bone, into your soul, and it was so painful. But I was still trying to push through. Like I was still trying to go to work, and some days I wouldn't be able to go to work. And you know, my dad's like, "Well, you know, you can work from home. We can sort something out." But yeah, that happened. Then caught COVID again, second time. Um, I ended up uh, getting really ill again. Again, nearly took me out. But the after effects was worst, you know. So wasn't able to do much. Wasn't Communication was a big problem because it's almost like someone who had an accident and they had brain injuries, you know, and tried to speak again, or someone had a stroke and they're trying to speak again. The speech was terrible. There was a lot of stuttering, just couldn't find the words, would go blank. A lot of pains and aches, a lot of autoimmune illnesses, developed type 2 diabetes, sleep apnea. And there's a list of things that just, you know, happened. But my body went through a battering, you know, and I'm grateful to God that I'm alive. A lot of people didn't make it, unfortunately and sadly. But I am grateful to be alive because it could have been totally different, you know. And yeah, so that's how I became ill. And my channel. Although initially when I started my channel, I wanted to share my passion for cooking. I wanted to teach people how to cook, like easy to follow, step-by-step tutorials, of how to cook really delicious, healthy meals and showcase my food from both cultures, from like even three cultures: Jamaican culture, the Indian culture, African culture, because I do love African food as well, and I posted some videos, I think some of them are like Jamaican food and stuff and some other dishes. But then I realized, okay, Misha, if you need to heal your body and you need to do this through food, because I was on medication. And again, I'm not knocking, any medication. I'm not saying nobody should take the medication. For me, it made me worse. I didn't realize it at the time because it got to a point where I had to be fed. I would have lots of falls, so I was at risk of falling and hurting myself. I couldn't be left alone. On if I'm alone, I have to be in bed. Um, I literally, as we speak right now, I have to be. I sleep in my living room, so we have to put a bed in the living room for my safety, um, because of the risk of falling down the stairs. So um, my whole house had to be adapted, for me to try and live an independent life. So yeah, I don't know if I'm all over the place, but yeah, caught COVID, and basically changed my life, and developed lots of autoimmune illnesses. I then realized I started researching when I was strong enough, because a few times I felt like I recovered and I still went back to work, and that was like the ongoing thing, like go to work, get really ill, off work, and they're like, "Why are you doing this? You don't have to
Mm.
stay home." But I'm like, "No, I need to go out. I need to do something. I can't stay at home." Until I was literally forced to do so. I literally just couldn't walk. So yeah, I started researching stuff, and I remember like I said, we have medics in our family. We have doctors and consultants and that, nurses, and I remember when I was so ill and I wasn't getting any help at the time from the GP, because I don't know, the doctor wasn't very helpful. Maybe they didn't know what to do, because it was all new. And a friend of mine, he's a GP, and I remember reaching out to him and saying, because I have a group of friends, I love them so much, my sisters, and they were like, "Mish, we need to do something. This is not normal. Maybe we should get you have like a full body scan where they can check your organs and everything and try and figure out what's going on." Because I didn't, at the time, I didn't know it was still from COVID. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was like these changes are happening in my body. Why is this happening? And the doctors can't tell me why. I go for scans and checkups and this and that, and they can't tell me anything. So my friend, he has a practice in. He has a he's a private GP, and he's based in Hartley Street in central London, and so my friend's like, "Why don't you go to, let's message him and get him to see you, and see if he can help." So I reached out to him, and let him know what was going on, and then straight away he was like, "Okay, let's do this," because it got to the point now where my GP, I think she suspected that my enemy had cancer, not me, and she was sending me for loads and loads of scans, you know, and I'm like, every time everything would be fine, and she kept sending me for the same scan. And I remember I did one scan 5 times. 5 times. And I remember the last time it was a Jamaican woman. She's like, "What am I sending back so for every time?" She was so angry because she's like, "This is the fifth time you had this CM scanner, nothing there. Nothing is there. Why do they keep sending you back?" But you're trusting them, and I'm not knocking anybody because I've got friends that are medics. That was just my experience. And so I reached out to him and told him what's going on. He's a close family friend, so it was like, all right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to list all your symptoms and everything, see what's happening, and we're going to start ruling stuff out. And so he started. He told me, right, okay, go to the doctor, ask them to send you for this, check for that. I think he got on the doctor's skin a little bit, because how dare you know so much? How dare you
Mm.
sit here and tell me this is what you want? I'm supposed to tell you know what I mean, that kind of thing. I don't think she liked it at all. And it was a real struggle, like trying to get her to do the things that I was told to do. But my friend wanted to rule things out. So okay, it's not cancer, it's not this, it's not that. So try and narrow it down. And I think he quickly realized that he was the first person that said to me, "I think you've got long COVID," and I thought it was LUNG, COVID. The long,
Yeah, for the lungs.
but it
Yeah,
was LONG. And for a while, I was like, long COVID. And I was saying to people, I was phoning other people, like, this is what so and so said. And eventually I got to realize it's LONG. So then he was like, okay, I think this is what it is. This is what you need your GPs to do. Tell them to refer you to the LONG COVID clinic, and we can start getting you help from there. Go. Nada, none of that. For 3 months, nothing. And basically, all during this time, I was just left at home, like just me and Jesus, just me, family and Jesus. But I'm telling you, that's why, guys, surround yourself with good people, with the right people. Yeah, because my community, my friendship group, my network, whatever you want to call it, they prayed for me. My church community prayed and prayed, even times when I felt like I can't do this no more. They would pray and they prayed and they would send encouraging words. There's times when I couldn't talk on the phone because that alone would just set someone off, set me, not me. Okay, let me say something. When I say my enemy, I don't say me because I don't put nothing on me. I put it on my enemy, okay? So, like, they would pray and I couldn't speak to anybody, for some time to make somebody exhausted in that. So, yeah, I had that. And so when we got down to, I think about 3 months or so later, my friend was like, well, do you need me to phone her or do you need me to write a letter? Like, what do we need to do here to get some action, And eventually she referred me to the long COVID clinic. And let me tell you how God works. Let me, if you don't serve God. Let me tell you, because he works in mysterious ways. And he knows, like I said, he ordains our path, right? And he knows what's good for us. You understand? And when I was referred to the long COVID clinic, I have another friend who is a doctor also, but we have not seen each other for some time because, she got married and life and all of that. When I went to the long COVID clinic, she was working in the room next to where I was. Well, I didn't see her. I saw a different doctor. I had no idea she was working there. And this COVID clinic in our area was quite new because they had to like liaise with the local council and all of that to get one in the area. And this is later I'm finding this out. So I was going to the long COVID clinic and they would do screening and stuff like that. But there wasn't much, they weren't doing much. They were just checking on you, checking your blood pressure, all of that. But to be honest, there wasn't much they could do. And I remember one day I went somewhere and someone drove past and blew their horn. And then I got a text message like, hello, darling. I'm like, who the hell is this? Like, who's darling me? Excuse me, And she was playing because I'm like, who is this? And the person started playing around and eventually I found out it was my friend, which I haven't seen for some time. She moved into the area, and she's like, I forgot your address. I'm like, great, such a good friend, But yeah, and so we started messaging, and she's like, I was telling her what was going on with me because she's a doctor, her husband is a doctor as well, and it's like I needed as many advice as I could get at that point. Bear in mind I'm still very ill, but for me, my nan taught me something from a very young age. I grew up watching her being such a strong woman and never, ever, 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 ever give up, no matter how difficult it is. Like, even when you can't see any way out, just do not quit. Yeah. She always said that what is it now? The darkest part of the morning is just before sunrise. Something like, anyway, I don't want to butcher that. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always light at the end of the tunnel, even when you can't see it, even when it looks terrible, terrible, terrible. And I think I still have that inside of me. I don't give up that easily, especially with something I believe in. So, yeah, I during that time I was still like although speech was a problem, and although I'd be very exhausted at the time, there's even one person I would, you know, reach out to and say something. So fast forward, found out that she was one of the doctors with another doctor who liaised with the government, the local council, to have the long COVID clinic in our area. And she's like, "You've been coming to what? You've been coming to our clinic? I'm next door." I'm like, "No way." She's like, "Yeah." And then obviously she now stepped in because now she's got access to my records because I'm under their clinic. So she could go through my medical records and check everything and, and see what these doctors are up to. You know what I mean? I think that's why they probably didn't like me because I knew too much, and she would tell me stuff like, okay, and then so she came on board, and then I still wasn't getting any medical help. Fast forward a couple of years on, and then I got a phone call. No, I eventually had to give up work, and I was forced to. I had no choice. It just wasn't making sense. Just wasn't able to do my job anymore. It wasn't safe, and I needed to recover. So yeah, I said to my director, okay, I'm taking sick notes because I'm still hopeful. Because for me, I've always bounced back. I go through stuff, but I bounce back. And I just feel like it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. Just keep going, man. Just keep going. It will work out. And I'm thinking, I had the same mindset that, listen, this is gonna pass. Like, yeah, God, take your time, but I know I'm gonna get better. I'm not gonna be healed. I'm not gonna go back to my normal life. I am. This is just a phase, kind of thing. But yeah, I was forced to give up work, and I remember my director was like, it's okay. Like, you always have a job. If you want, you can always come back, kind of thing. But I was taking sick leaves. So for the first month, I took, wrote to the GPs. You can do it online over here. And they were asking the symptoms and stuff like that. But all the symptoms I was listing was symptoms of long COVID. Did it the first month, did it the second month. The third month, I got a phone call, and the doctor was like, I'm so-and-so doctor. I'm the long COVID doctor at the surgery. And he's like, I've noticed on your request for your sick notes, you've listed symptoms of long COVID, and I've not seen you. And I've been here for how long, being a doctor and that. And I was like, oh, really? And he's like, yeah, you haven't come on my radar. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know they had a long COVID doctor at the surgery. And I'm like, this woman, don't let me start praying. Because the other doctor I was seeing, I don't know why did she help me? Why didn't she refer me to this doctor that deals with long COVID? And so he had he told me later on that he has a WhatsApp group of 60 doctors that are actually experiencing the same thing and worse, like what I was experiencing. This is later on. But anyway, he got in touch, and you know what, that day I was floored. I've never cried so much in a long time, because for the first time, somebody understood. You know what I mean, Goga? And he was like, yeah, I get it. I understand, and he was just saying stuff, because I'm like, there's some family that'll be like, is she really sick? Is she losing her mind? Like, is she okay? Is it stress? Like, people say stuff. Oh, shit, maybe she married to an African man. Like, the stuff that was. I'm like, oh my God, really? And to hear a medical professional, other than my friends, saying, yeah, this is what you have, I totally get it. And then he was like, he made it sound, he just put me at so much peace, because like, now you have to grieve your old life, and you have to accept the new life that you're in. I just wept, because I'm like,
that's deep.
Grieve my old life. What? And then he just made sense. And from there, I started getting help. There's services available for people in the UK if they have certain illnesses. And one thing I want to say as well, don't let pride stop you. Because for me, I think I struggled with, people are going to be in my home, and people are going to, I don't want hand-me-downs, kind of thing. Because, we Jamaicans, other cultures as well, we believe in working hard and working for what you want. You must work for it, yeah? The Bible says if you don't work, you don't eat. You should eat, kind of thing. So I struggled with that. I really did struggle. And thank God I have good friends that are working certain sectors, and they did help me a lot. So the doctor he moved really swift. He was like, okay, so you're at risk of fall. You're da 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 da. Right, we need to get your house adapted. We need to put safety measures in. And before you know it, like an occupational therapist was here. Like things were just moving so fast. I'm like,
Nice.
God, I thank you, Lord. And for the first time, I was able to like let my guard down because I'm a caregiver. I look after everybody around me. That's my nature. I love taking care of people, making sure people are okay, feeding them. If you need excuse me, if you need someone to talk to, or you pick their gear trouble, carry them home. That kind of thing. You need childcare, just drop them off. So for the first time in a very long time, I had to be like, okay, let somebody else look after you. You can't always be this strong, And sorry. So yeah, that happened. Got my house adapted, got the professionals in that I needed for care that I needed. And yeah, that's how I got ill. That's a very long story.
No, no, it's
Um,
you've said you've really captured a lot of things, because I was just looking at the comments that were coming in through the chat when you are speaking, and they're very deep, and there are people even have the people are sharing the similar experiences that they had.
yeah.
And I'm just going to highlight them for you, because it's important to just understand what's going on. So
Mhm.
All of Shay says, yeah, so many people are still suffering from long COVID.
Yes.
She came through saying that. Rebecca was talking about an African detox. This show just been funny as usual, but you get the point. Nino and Lo said we both had a similar story, being home together with long COVID for months. As we
Mm.
improved, we decided to start our YouTube channel after watching hours and hours of content. So these are your people. This literally
Ah,
the same thing you did in your
yeah.
search, you know, uh, at least for finding your footing on YouTube. Um,
Mhm.
Beckham Prince says you are really loved, Misha, because
Oh,
you
thank
need.
you, Rebecca. You're so sweet.
And then all of Shay says God has a purpose for you.
Amen.
Um, and then TK said, Goga, I have had the honor of attending 3 Sunday services, and all the 3 guests I've met so far were so good and telling us their story and taking us along their journey. You are blessed to have such a great co-host. Thank you. I'm sure
Oh,
I'm also blessed, and I'm also learning.
thank you.
You're a miracle and a true testimony.
Amen.
Shay said something that you just said. I think she took the words literally out of your mouth. Community is important in healing.
Mhm,
I'm glad that you
mhm,
have the love from your family.
mhm.
And then also you've given a lot of insights, because I think long COVID, I think it's something that most people are not very familiar about. So you've
Yeah.
also just given us a bit of education right there. And Shay keeps on saying that yes, it's ongoing, and so many people I know have horrible after effects.
Mhm.
Uh, Tavi's Hot Kitchen says God is the greatest physician. Keep trusting, sis. Keep trusting, sis.
Amen. Thank you, Cyril.
Yeah, and then Favor was giving us the what you're trying to say. The darkest part of midnight is just before daylight.
Yes,
So to say.
that's it.
Um, and I just want to like ride on what these people are saying in terms of. I want to ask 2 questions, and I don't know, Misha. I don't know that we still have time, because I know I was looking at my watch, but I've not seen your daughter come to prompt you off the stream. So
No, not
okay,
yet.
okay. So
She's getting picked up. But we'll keep going because I think I think it's important, and I think it's something that we need to talk about and educate people about. Like they've said in the chats, a lot of people are still suffering. It's not talked about enough. It's not on mainstream media enough.
yeah,
Because it's not a good look. So yeah, we can keep going.
okay,
If I might sorry, I might
no
have to
worries.
take a minute to mute,
Okay,
because of the background noise, because it's getting picked up by her aunt, and I don't think they know that I'm live streaming and all that. They think I'm
no worries.
crazy anyway, because she's like, "You should be resting." I'm like, "I'm resting."
No, I'm actually honored, because guys, Misha will crack you this joke with you that I had to get clearance to have her at the Sunday service. It had to be a family meeting had to be held to discuss whether she's going to make an appearance at the Sunday service, but the good thing, I'm glad the family knows Goga, so I
Oh
think
yeah,
I think I used the presidential reputation in my favor
Yeah,
to get
they
that
do know you,
together.
Goga. They know quite a few lot because a lot of times I'm lying down and because sometimes I can't engage, but I'll just put it on and just be listening or just fall asleep to one of you guys talking and but then they do know Goga's voice because they come down and go, "Oh, is that Goga?" Like, yeah. No, and I'm
Yeah.
always listening to the Sunday service and that. And I talk about you lot so much because you guys are just so amazing. Like, I feel so blessed. Like, you guys, I don't want to tear up, but I feel so blessed just to be a
Oh,
part of this community. Like, you all are so amazing. We support each other, we cheer for each other, we cry with each other, we laugh with each other, we mock each other, like, take the mick out of Mesha Bless. But we're just such amazing community. And I'm just so happy that I have you guys because there's been times when it's been really, really tough emotionally, mentally, and I'm just locked off from my family. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to hear anybody. I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to go for breakfast. I don't want to go for lunch. I don't want nothing. Just leave me alone. And I'm in a really bad mood because it does happen.
it
But
does.
then I come online and I hear Goga and I see Misha Bless and like what talk to in the choir and like what or JD and like all you people and Rebecca, and I just start laughing. I'm like, okay, and they will know, okay, yeah, she's in a better
Thank
mood,
you.
but she's been talking to her peoples, kind of
Thank you
thing.
for that. And you
Yeah.
spoke about JD and JD crawled from the bush where she was. I know she was going on a date today, but those are receipts for later.
Ooh.
Mama Fisher, hey, Misha, focus. You just had me talk about JD and date, and now you're getting excited. Focus. Back to the Sunday service. That was funny.
Yeah, but yeah,
Um,
we're good for time. If we need to take a
okay,
break, then that's fine. I'll let you know. But
no
we're
worries. Don't
good.
worry.
No, they'll be
I'll
like looking and thinking, is she getting tired? Because sorry to cut you, Goga. But talking for quite long can exhaust me as well. But I always say, listen, I go hard, then I recover. That is all or nothing because there's days when there's nothing. So when I have the days when there's something in the tank, I make
Mm.
full use of it. And they get frustrated, but it is what it is.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah.
so you talked about something very important. One of the things you've talked about is in terms of your community, the community that just rallied to support you. So it was people, it was like a friend who was, close to the doctor who was going to be the breakthrough. It's amazing just getting those connections.
Oh yeah.
It is your family. It is your family having to step up, to support
Mhm.
you during a very difficult time. The house has to be adapted.
Mhm.
They have to help you around things because mom is not going to get an accident while in the house.
Mhm.
Those are like those are things that needed to be done to make sure that they support you through the process.
Mhm.
But you also talk about faith a lot. You talk about faith, and that is something that I think a lot of people are like resonating with. Like faith, and faith being part of this particular process. So my two questions in this case will be: number one, in terms of your family and support system, your friends, what is it that keeps you going? Like, how do they keep you going even on the days when your motivation is down? Because I know sometimes and I like what you were saying earlier about pride. Don't be proud. Sometimes it's okay that you are used to being the caregiver, but now it is the family that has to step up. It is the friends.
Yeah.
So on the days like where you are feeling the motivation is down, yet the family system, the community still has like to support you through this process. How do you get yourself, how do you get yourself back up in terms of that, this particular experience? And then when it comes to faith, because you reference faith a lot, what role has faith played, and why is faith important for you as part of this particular process? Because you say the community prayed. For me, I like
Mm.
what you say. The community rallied, and your prayers, sometimes you feel like my prayers are not worthy, but the community is going to hold me through their prayers, like
Mhm.
the book of Esther and her people holding her through prayer. So talk to us about faith and talk to us about the community and family support and the kind of relationship that has also built.
Yeah. Faith is very, very important. We are Christians. I was brought up a Christian. I mean, I went a bit AWOL when I came to London for a year. I mean, I grew up in a Christian home. Yeah, so growing up in Jamaica, I didn't really experience, like, I've never been to like a dance. In Jamaica, they call it like a dance, like street dance where they play the music and you go on, or to like a party like that. I've never experienced that. Um, so when I came to the UK, I was like, I was in the garage clubs, banging, dancing the garage raves.
You are that girl. Huh.
Again, I just wanted to experience it. You know what I mean? Like, it seemed fun, but I wanted to experience it.
Get
And
the receipt. Mm.
yeah, the friends I was with, they were about that life. So I'm like, mom's not here. Nobody's here to see me. Like, I'm the only one in London. Like, I don't really have much family in London, So nobody not gonna report nothing to nobody. So yeah. So I did that for a year. I was like clubbing, like, oh God, back to back. But it got to a point where I never really drink. I don't really drink a lot. I'm not a drinker, but that never appealed to me. It was just the experience for me. I love music, so it was just going out, dressing up, wearing makeup, high heels, all that, being in the club. I'm in London, kind of thing. But after that, it was just, after a while, it's like, nah, this is not it for me, because that the Bible said, train up a child in the way he should grow, and when he's old, he will not depart from it. And I think that was the seed that was sown from a very early age. And God was there to remind me that this is not you. This is not what I want for your life, kind of thing. So yeah, I grew up as a Christian, got baptized pretty young at 15. Always involved in church back home. I was quite young as a women's leader. I mean, I never wanted the role, but they threw me in it. I used to be secretary for the youth group. I loved working with the youth and, that kind of stuff. So I was very heavily involved in church. So faith has always been important to me. And coming to the UK, new country, different people, marrying a different culture, they too are Christians. Like Niger people, they don't joke. They can pray from nothing. They can pray your hair off your head. Okay?
Speak in tongues
and pray. Like, she used to wake me up 5 a.m. in the morning. So, backstory, when I was pregnant with my daughter, I don't know, you Nigerians tell me, yeah. Oh, we have to look after you. The baby's nearly here. We need to take care of you. You need to be in my house so I can look after you and the baby. Like, I'm not a child. I'm a big woman. I can look after myself, but I didn't want to be disrespectful. So I stayed with my mother-in-law towards the ending of the pregnancy, because she was also a midwife. So she wanted to make sure I was okay, and make sure baby was fine. First grandchild is a big deal. So yeah, she would wake me up at early morning prayer, 5 o'clock in the morning, and she would like start singing, waking up the whole house. It's time for prayer. It's time for prayer. Everybody wake up, So they're Christians as well, and that combined with me being a Christian from home, just fueled, my faith, my love for Christ. I love the Lord. I serve Him fully, and He's always guided me, even at times when things happens and it seems like, okay, it might seem like I've made the wrong choice or gone the wrong way. The Lord has always guided me. So yeah, my faith it comes in everything I do, in my family life, work life. Well, not so much now, but yeah, everything. But yeah, my becoming ill, I think my faith kept me alive, literally. I remember there was a time when I nearly gave up. I really nearly gave up because it was so hard to breathe. I wasn't eating as I should. I wasn't taking enough fluids. And I just felt like, God, I can't do this anymore. And I remember just praying also and just asking God to help me, like, Lord, for my children, spare me, And that was a prayer, just like pouring out my soul to God, like, okay, yeah, you have husbands and that. They're grown adults, but I have young children. At the time, they're like early teens. And all I could think about was my children. Like, I know the way I wanted to raise my children. I always pray over them that they'll be godly children, mighty men and women for Christ, doing wonderful things for the Lord in the earth, you know. And I'm like, God, I need to be here to do that, you know, to make sure that, or not make sure, but enable that, or nurture that. And I'll just, you know, crying out to God on behalf of my children, that just save me for my children's sake. And just nearly give up. And I remember, like, sometimes, and my community, my family in Jamaica, because they were amazing. They were constantly on the phone. They would take turns. And my mom is a prayer warrior. Don't joke with she and fear picking them. You understand? Don't mess with my mom and her kids, because she will tell you the God that she serves. You understand? Well, mom, she would pray, and what they would do, because every, you know, people chipped in. There was a period when no one could come to the house, so it was just whoever was in the household, right? And I had a lady, who would help me. She was with me for 14 years. She helped me to raise my kids. She was a Jamaican grandma. We all call her Mama. You know,
Mm.
I remember she came. She broke all the rules, and she was like, "I have to come and see you." And she came and she prayed and that. But my mom and my sibling, my brother, my in-law, my sister-in-law, they would take it in turns for the whole day. Imagine, there was never a time my phone was not on, so they can hear what's going on. And my
Wow.
mom would pray. She would just be praying. My sister-in-law, they would just be praying. And although I'm not talking, and sometimes I feel like I was slipping in and out of consciousness, but sometimes I wake up to prayers, you know. My in-laws, they would pray. My friends, they would pray. And having that community, and also a community who has faith, who believes in God, who trusts in God, and who knows how to pray is so important. And I think the two combined is very powerful. So yeah, they really did pray for me. At times when I was low, I feel like giving up. Again, I remember my brother was on the phone, and I was telling him, I literally was making plans, you know, to say goodbye. This was it, you know. And it's like telling him, I can't, barely getting the words out, I can't do this anymore. And my brother shouted so loud, you guys, till today I still remember it. He shouted so loud down the phone, "You can't give up, don't say that, don't say it, you have to fight." Like, it's like I'm a general, like shocking me, like, you know. So, like, it was so frightening, like, because I was almost like drifting away, and he was just screaming, 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 screaming down the phone, and they started praying. My sister-in-law took over the phone, and she just went in prayer. Like, it was just like, now thinking back, it's so emotional, you know, because they was like, "No, nothing's gonna happen. You're not going anywhere, not on our watch," you know. So yeah, it's good to have communities. It's good to have good friends. It's good to live good, do good. People do good. If you don't do anything in this life, do good. And doing good doesn't have to be this big everlasting thing, you know. Just a kind word, you know, saying hello to your neighbor. Like me, I cook and feed my neighbors. Anytime I have energy, my neighbors know. I'm calling them over the fence and I'm handing food over to them, you know. Sometimes I need somebody to talk to. Like, whatever you can do in your community, just do it to your friends, to your family. Just do good, because you never know when that time, you know, the wheels are going to turn, and you're going to need that. Like I said, most times I'm usually the strong ones. My friends, they know me. They have a problem, let's go to me. Misha's to fix it. You know what I mean? You're hungry, Misha will fix it. You're picking up your problem, Misha will fix it. You're having a problem in marriage, Misha will fix it. Like, we'll pray. Not, I'm not God, don't get me wrong. But, you know, we'll pray. We go to God in prayer, and I might suggest a book or see a podcast or something, you know. So yeah, I think my faith has kept me alive. God, I'm so grateful to God, and just remembering his words, his promises, you know. The lady that I told you about, I don't call her my helper, because she was she's like a grandma to us, and she would come, and she would put the telly on, and she would put audio Bible on, and she would turn it up loud enough so I can hear it. They would put worship music on, you know. And so yeah, that helped me a lot. And my friends also, up until now, they still do, and they take it in turns. Like, sometimes there was times when I needed someone to bath me, because I couldn't do that, you know, and my friend would come and shower me, you know, and dress me, and it wasn't a problem. So yeah, faith extremely important. I trust in God. I put everything at His feet. I lay everything down at His feet. I don't doubt the power of God. Yeah, sometimes we're going through difficult times, because even sometimes I look at my life and I could be like, and I remember there was a phase where I was just questioning God, and I was like, why? Why? I'm so angry. Like, why? This I'm at my peak now, I'm gonna launch my business. Life is good. My children are growing. Like I can have freedom now. I'm not taking this one swimming, taking that one piano lesson, going to this meeting. Like, they're independent now. They. Go to school on their own.
Nice.
Life is good. So why? Why? I was out there doing good. I was serving my community. Like, I'm not doing anything bad. So why? Why me? And I was so angry and I did not want to hear anything. I remember just like, even my mom, that woman is strong because she got some horrible things from me because she would want to encourage me, like, Misha, don't give up. Remember what the Bible says, and you should have hope. And I'm like, which hope? Which part? Where hope there? I'm gonna see him. It's like, where is hope? There's no what hope. What are you telling me? Like, what did I do? Like, I can't walk. I can really talk. I can't do anything for myself. I have to be depending on people. And it was really, really, it was a really tough time. And you know, I was like, God, this no make no sense. I can't do this. But I remember speaking to my aunt. She's one of my mom's friend. She was also a mentor, and she was like, "No, man, you can't question God. Sorry, I'm speaking bad. You can't question God because look at Job. Everything was taken away. He lost his whole family, everything, but he never turned on God. So you can't. You know, you have to still have hope. You still have to believe that whatever is happening to you, God has a plan and a purpose. I'm like, mina see it. You know, I can't see the plan or no purpose. Mina see it. If
Yeah.
you see it, good for you, but I don't see it. You know what I
Hope
mean?
that you
It was
see it.
really
Yeah.
difficult time. But although they said that at the time I was a bit resistant, but after a while, it sinks into my soul and the Holy Spirit speaks to me, and it just reminds me, you're my daughter, you're my child. I love you. I care about you. You're gonna be fine. And guys, I'm not making this up. Listen, this is real life. I'm not making these things up. Yeah, this is my true, authentic, 100% experience. You understand? And God is real. Put your faith and trust in Him. Don't worry. Don't trust me. Don't worry. That's a weapon of the enemy because that worry brings anxiety, brings illness, leads to you know. You don't need that. If you trust God, if you truly, 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 truly believe, just sit and wait and let Him work things out. And that's what I'm doing. I'm letting God work things out. I'm like, God, you know what? It's all right. I'm sorry. I'm not angry no more. I'm not angry anymore, God. The senses come back. You know what I mean? This is a normal now. Let me just wait and see what you're gonna do and ride this journey out. But I learned a lot of things along the way, like, and I realized, and I have a lot of great friends, but also lost a lot of friends, even family members. I don't have a lot of family in this country, but the very few I had, when you're going through certain situations, you expect people to show up a certain way, and I feel like I went through a filtration process. The people that doesn't need to be in your life, God remove every single one of them. Because during that time was when you get to see who is the real people, like who is really there for you. You understand? There's some people that did not care. They're barely called. They barely, and these are people that you think that, oh my God, you're my sister. Oh my God, I love you so much. I'm a family. They weren't there. But that means they were not meant to be there. I also learned a lot about myself. I also learned to accept myself for who I am, where I am, where God's got me, and walk in my, I know this word keeps going around a lot, through authentic self.
Mm.
Yeah, and just live life. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot about long COVID. I learned about the symptoms. I learned the effects it has on the body. I gained a lot of weight, and that troubled me because you need to look nice and hot and ready, especially summer is coming. But I gained a lot of weight, like around my middle. And I was like, oh nah. But they're like, what are you worried about? You're alive. Give thanks for
Mm.
that. Focus on that. Don't focus on the negatives. Just focus on what's good in your life. And that's how I live. There's a lot of times when I do get down, yeah, a few times. But most times I focus on the positives. And yeah, I've learned a lot. My family, we're closer, we're more bonded, you know, um, and they've been through a lot. I'm so grateful to God for them. They loved me throughout the whole process. Um, there wasn't a moment nobody complained, you know,
Mm.
and I went through different phases, but I have learned a lot. I then also started learning about the health effects of what COVID does to the body, how to treat it. And that's how I was able to take myself off the medication that I was getting from the doctors. I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. I was diagnosed with sleep apnea, and a couple other stuff. And so I had to go and learn. And that's how my channel, the direction of my channel kind of changed a little bit. Because initially, again, I wanted to, share my love for cooking, Jamaican food, all that kind of stuff. But now I've got a bigger reason why I need to share like foods that will heal people. Um, Unfortunately, due to my health, I'm not able to upload as much as I'd like to. But that's how during this whole process and being diagnosed with diabetes. So remember, the doctor told me, "You've got type 2 diabetes." I'm like, "Huh?" But although I wasn't, prior being ill, I thought I was eating healthy. And then being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, I didn't know long COVID could cause that. Um, so I had to go and learn about this diabetes thing. And she's like, "Oh, we're going to put you on medication. This is a medication you can take." Even my friend that's a GP is like, "Oh, yeah." I'm like, "I'm not taking any medication. I'm going to go and find out about it, type diabetes. I'm going to see how I can reverse it." And I learned you can reverse it. And then that's how I discovered keto and low carbs and
Mm.
carnivore diet. And so that became my lifestyle. But I think prior to that, I was kind of eating keto without realizing, because years ago, I used to do something called the Atkins diet, which is very similar to keto. Is low carb, high protein, high fat diet. And when I say high fat, it's like healthy fats, not 10 pound animal fat kind of thing. Um, so yeah, I learned about that. And so I started eating keto, low carb, especially, started removing carbohydrates from my diet. And within 3 months, I was able to reverse my excuse me, not me, my enemy's type 2 diabetes. And I remember the doctor said to me, "Oh, there's a book that you can buy, and it's called The Proper Human Diet. And it's about the keto diet." And so I already started digging into it, from when I was told the first time. That's when I discovered Dr. Berg, Dr. Ken Berry. There's a few other doctors, Dr. Mindy Phelps, quite a few doctors. I discovered Ben Azadi. I joined his program. And yeah, so through keto, low carb, I was able to reverse my type 2 diabetes. Now, my doctors still say you're diabetic. We're not going to remove you from the system as a diabetic, just in case,
Mm.
like, God forbid. You don't know the God will be served. That is not me. That's not my portion. Is gone forever. But anyway, they've kept me in the system. So I have to go and do like checkups. And I mean, now I stopped going because I'm like, you're taking my blood for nothing. Seriously, why do you need it? Because every time I go, "Oh yeah, your levels are fine. There's no concerns. So yeah. So I want to bring some of those recipes that I've learned to the channel. I've posted some already, and I think the direction I want to take is I want to show people, okay, you can make, like, I think I recently released a video with mac and cheese, but prior to that, I did a low carb mac and cheese or cauliflower cheese. So it's like, okay, you have a mac and cheese version, you have the original mac and cheese, traditional, for those who don't have any health issues and still love to have their traditional mac and cheese. And for those who may have diabetes or high blood pressure or long COVID or may need to lose some weight, then you can have the alternative, which is the low carb cauliflower mac and cheese. So that's what I want to be doing, and bring on the channel and just educate people, because you truly, truly, truly can heal your body with foods and herbs and spices. You know what I'm saying? So
That's
that's what I've done. And yeah, I hope I've answered your questions
You
because
definitely have. I mean, I agree. I agree with everybody on the live stream who says that you can. I think it was Boiti. Boiti Melo is our super chatter. Boiti was saying something there that I can listen to. I can listen to Misha speak the whole day. Yeah, yeah. That's how good she is. Like, yeah, you are incredible. She gave us a super chat because
oh,
like that
thank
I can listen
you.
to her speak the whole day. Yeah, I love listening to Misha speak because one of the things, like when you're preparing for the Sunday service, and these are the things that go on behind the scenes. Misha was ready for the Sunday service 1 month ago. Like, she was ready. She was like, Goga, can we have like a call we set up for the Sunday service? Because I know I'm coming up in 1 month. So let us run through it. What are some of the things that we're going to be doing? Da, 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 da. She already went through the logistics. For me, anytime Misha sends me a message, and she normally does for me voice recordings, so she'll do a voice recording. She's very organized in terms of when she's speaking. She will tell me 5 things that I need to like answer. I always used to get so excited every time like I hear those voice recordings because I'm like, okay, so Misha has asked me 5 things and I will answer them. And she arranges them so nicely. Like Goga. I'm really looking forward to our podcast in the month of June. I know that she speaks. I just want to ask you first. Please tell me more about this. Also, is there a possibility to do this? She's asking the 5 questions. It is so easy for you to answer. Me, I'm always all over the place because that's how my mind works. Because I will start asking you one thing, and then in the middle of the question, I'll realize that, oh, I should have asked this other thing as well, so that now you can answer it. Very organized in terms of I love your messages. I love them the way they're so well thought. They're very intentional and deliberate, and I think I'm sure you get that a lot. It's always
Thank
incredible.
you.
Yes,
Actually,
listening.
I don't even pay attention to these things, honestly. So thank you for pointing that out. Like I mean, this is just who I am, isn't it? I'm glad
So
to know that
before,
I'm organized. Well, actually, I do like to plan ahead. I like to know what I'm getting into and be prepared, and especially like for the Sunday service, because I feel like they've said in the chat that the issue of long COVID is not being talked about enough, and I'm happy that I'm able to share my story and hopefully encourage somebody, and also I'm hoping that God will give me the strength that I can get these recipes out and, you know, create impact, really, what's my value proposition? That's the question. What am I giving
mm,
the masses? You understand? So that's really what I want to do. And I feel like now I have a bigger purpose, and you have to take something that the enemy wanted to be bad. Is it a song or the saying like, "What the enemy meant for evil, God has turned it around for your good." So, like I said, I don't believe in
yes.
giving up. And yeah, you have down days, your down times, but don't give up and turn a bad situation into a good situation. You understand? And flip it, and that's what I'd like to do. That's the direction I'd love to go into. And just bring awareness and just be able to, somebody should just be able to go to my channel and say, okay, I want to make this recipe. I want to, you know, how do I like puddings. I like desserts. I like a nice cheesecake.
I
You know what
love
I mean?
cheesecake. I love cheesecake too.
So, but I've got diabetes and I don't want to spike my sugar levels, my blood sugar levels. You can come to my channel and find a recipe that can make a delicious cheesecake and you can eat it comfortably and no problems. I'll give an example. Yesterday, so I made Nigerian food yesterday because again, it's a mixed household. And 1 second, please, Goga. One
All right,
second.
cool.
All right.
Okay, guys. So as I wait for my co-host to attend to that, oh, you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, cool. That was.
They're like, can we come down? I'm like, no.
No, you're talking about you're making Nigerian food yesterday.
Yeah, so I made Nigerian food, and normally Nigerians they'll eat like pounded yam, eba, all these starchy food kind of thing. And yeah, I love all of that. But because not me, because I'm not going to say me, my enemy has diabetes or been diagnosed with diabetes. So I had to find alternatives because I still want to eat our traditional foods, even like Jamaican food. I adapt it, and so I make fonio fufu, So fonio is a low carb grain, if you don't know. And it's instead of having like pounded yam or eba or plantain fufu, which can spike your sugar levels. Then when you eat fonio, it doesn't spike your levels. So it's actually recommended for diabetics. So that's what I made yesterday, and it's a low carb replacement. You understand? So ate it, and I was fine. My levels were stabilized. No worries. So these are the recipes that I want to bring to the channel, and just to help people along the way, and encourage them. And if anyone's out there that's going through what I'm going through, just know there's help. You can heal your body. There's herbs that I've used. I don't know if I should give the name of some of them, but you can do your research. And yeah, you can cure yourself. And I've done that. I'm not fully there, but now I'm walking more and more independently. I'm not going too far, like driving, although I push it sometimes. I sneak out.
Hey, stop this confession. Your family is going to come for me. Don't admit,
I
don't admit to
know.
Sunday service and they're listening.
Yeah, they're like, why? I'm like, well, I feel like going out. But yeah, so I am getting stronger. I'm able to speak a lot better now. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember when I met you guys was it 2024? Um,
Yes.
on some of the lives, I would be stuttering a lot, or I'll be like, I can't remember what I'm saying, or just lose my chain of thought. But my speech is getting better. My breathing is a lot better. I'm not like kind of, struggling to breathe. So thank God for that. There's healing in that area. I on my good days, there's days when I have to just be in bed. This week I was in bed most of the week. I was able to get up around Friday. When I say in bed, I don't mean just stay in bed completely. Like I get up and I have something to eat, or I might go for a little walk in the garden, or toileting, whatever. But most of the day is spent in bed. Um,
Mm.
Before I would eat in bed, everything in bed. Now I'm able to come out of the bed, and sometimes I might do a little bit of cleaning, and I'll be so proud, like, oh, wash the dishes today, yes, or I made dinner today. And then the thing is, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make a small dinner. No, I tell you what put me in bed this week. Also, last Sunday, I had a very good night's sleep Saturday night, and I slept so well. I woke up energized, and I got in the kitchen and I started cooking. And Jamaicans, tripe and bean. So I went to the butcher's on Saturday, and I wanted to get some Jamaican snacks and stuff for the children. And I saw some cow skin or pomo. I don't know what you call it in Kenya. I thought, man, I've not had this for years. Let me have some. I'm gonna make some Jamaican curry cow skin and try it with beans. Yeah, I don't remember the name. Sorry, but anyway, so I did that, and I got up early Sunday, and I made that, and then I made curry goat, rice and peas, coleslaw, carrot juice, and I went to church, and I was at church for a very long time. We actually came back late because we had like a special service at church where guest speaker, and it went on pretty late, and I was in church singing and all that, doing too much. So Monday came, and I'm in agony. I had to be in bed, So, but overall, I am getting better. God is good. I have a second channel, and I have a lot of stuff that I'm going to put on that channel, film some of it, that just documenting my journey. There's things that I'm doing that I've learned along the way. So one of them is diet. So and again, not telling anybody to go and do what I'm doing. Research it for yourself, consult your doctors before you do any of this, you know. But I do keto, low carb, I do carnivore sometimes, and I also combine that with intermittent fasting. So I can do some days I do like a 24-hour dry fast, or I can do a 3-day dry fast, or I'll do like a 16/8. So for me, it's not rigid, you know, it just depends on what's happening in my body. So yeah, so combine intermittent fasting for reset. I do take herbs because also there was a point where I was really feeling a lot of pain in my stomach area. I wasn't eating very well. I was becoming really unwell. This was quite recent, like a couple months back. And I went to got a private scan done. I was told that my enemy had pancreatitis potentially. And so I needed to go and get some ultrasounds done just to confirm and all of that. But I went to the herbal shop. There's one, if you live in the UK, there's one in Brixton that I use, and they're called Eat to Live and Not to Die. Very, very good. They do really good herbs. They're very good at what they do. They educate you, tell you how you can heal your body. So I went there, got some herbs, did a 2-week treatment, along with fasting. And when I went to I also went privately because the NHS was taking ages for me to get the scan, the ultrasound. So I went privately and I had the ultrasound done. And I was told my pancreas is clear, my kidneys are fine, my bile duct is clear. Only thing that they've noticed is fatty liver, which is, I think, at the early stages, so that can be reversed as well. So I'm working on that. So yeah, I've used the herbs and they worked and it helped me. So yeah, combination of keto, low carb, intermittent fasting, and herbs. You know, that's what I've used, and that's what's helping me, and that's why I can be talking to you today like this. You know.
I like how you say that, because I remember the last time when I'd requested you to co-host the Sunday service, and you had to tell me about the health. I think that's when I really got to appreciate what you're going through. I did not know, because I think it's very easy to underestimate what you never know, the battles people are fighting silently outside YouTube. So I did not know that until you like walked me through. You walked me through Goga. I would love to be at the Sunday service, but because of my health,
Yeah.
give me a bit more time. When I get better, I will know and I will let you know. And I know it has taken long, but I'm glad that it happened today.
Yeah.
There's so many beautiful comments coming through the live stream, and I also don't want to keep you long, because I can't believe you've stayed with me throughout the whole length of the live stream, because
I
Sunday service
know.
was like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get into trouble with your family, but there's some very beautiful comments that I just want to like highlight for you, so that you know how people have really appreciated your presence being here. Natural Vibes TK said, "There's always light at the end of every tunnel that you may
Yeah.
face." And then Miss V says, "Herbs and spice, thank God you've battled the storm." I like
Oh,
that.
thank you.
And then Boiti says, "Misha, sorry you went through all of that." And
Thank
then
you.
the World of Raga says, "Having an intact family and people who love you unconditionally is the best treasure that we have in life." Just trying to
Yeah.
like ride on what you're saying about community. And then there's a joke here. Ragas always has to slide in a joke there. Misha, to summarize, you have worldwide blood in you, married to a Nigerian, able to speak a little pidgin, and you are of course gorgeous. You will witness beautification from the Vatican as the first living person. Okay, he just had to go.
Oh, all right.
He just had to go there. He just had to go there. He's the Pope that never was.
Oh, bless
Marie
you.
says she's amazing. She's amazing.
Oh,
Uh,
thank you guys.
Good Vibes K also loves food. She's watching in the bushes. She says, "You're such a sweet soul, Misha." She puts those.
Okay, big up yourself, girl.
Yeah. And then Boiti is stuck at where I was also stuck here. I'm still stuck where she cleaned the house before calling the ambulance. Like the woman is sick. The woman is sick. She's almost going, and she still has time to clean her house.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That,
The honey, it's got to be intact. It's the Jamaican
that is
pride.
wild. That is wild. That is wild. That is wild. I love it. I
Mm,
love it. I love it.
mm.
Why did you
Thank
have?
you,
I mean,
guys.
in less than 1 minute, why did you have to clean the house and you have an emergency situation? Like the ambulance is on its way, and you still had time to clean the house.
I don't know, Goga. It's just the way I think. I've always been this kind of person, like making sure my family are good. I don't know. I don't know. It's like like when a woman is in labor, when a woman is pregnant and they're
Yeah.
going into labor, yeah, and they do something that's called nesting. So they start putting things in order, getting things arranged. Because I'm
Yeah.
just thinking, in case of worst case scenario, everything is in place. You know, everything's good.
Oh.
Everything's fine. The house is fine. If people should come to the home, it's nice and clean and well presented. My family don't have to be running around trying to make sure, hide
Oh my
this and shove that under the bed. And no,
I mean, you're literally on the verge of leaving the earth. You had to remember to clean the house. Like
I wasn't even
it's,
thinking about myself. Honestly, I was
I
not.
love. You're
I
such a
was not
selfless
thinking about
human being.
myself.
Like you're not even thinking about you. That you're like, what will people? My family is not going to have problems.
No, my family must be good first. Before God, if you're gonna take my enemy out, then my family must be good first.
It is so funny. It is so funny. It is so funny.
But
And
yeah.
then all of Shay says, I love music too. Boitmele says, love and light to you. Live and light to you, Misha. And then all of Shay says, it is so important to plant that seed early on. This is when we were talking about faith and why faith
Mm.
was very important to you. What she was saying, I could listen to her talk all day. She's a great storyteller. She's a great
Thank you, guys.
storyteller. You are blessed and loved, Misha from Boiti.
Oh,
Miss V
thank you
says,
so much.
yeah, Miss V says we need to have those prayer warriors.
Yes.
Marvella says prayer changes things. Uh,
Amen.
ah, okay, amen to that. God is good all the time from Miss
Mm.
V. And
Mm-hmm.
then Boit says, wow, look at God. And then Island Sister says the same thing. Oh, amen. Look at Job. Based from your mentor, and they was telling you, look
Yeah,
at Job. I
yeah,
love
yeah.
that. You always bounce back.
That
You
is
always,
it.
yeah,
Always about guys, I'm telling you. Like, listen, it's not always been fun and roses and a bed of roses. There's been some tough times. I'm telling there's been some really tough times. There's times when I'm so down,
yeah.
and I feel like I can't pick myself up and there's nothing anyone can do to help me. But, because you need to have that bounce back spirit and because you believe in God and you know what the word of God says about you and about your life. So one thing I've always tried to do is one of the major things I focused on as well during this whole process was keeping my mental health. So
Mm,
important. And I didn't really get to talk about that much, but your mental health, because now your whole world has changed, right? The life that life as you knew it then is not like that anymore, right? Complete change, right? You have to adapt, not just in the physical sense but the mental and emotional side of it, you know and so now you're isolated, although you have people around you. Because I do have, I go out to, like I said to Gogo once, I was going out to brunch. The sun came out, my friend's like, yeah, come, we're going out, But I do have those moments where you go out, and even for me, sometimes I would drag myself to the park. Why are you driving? I want to go to the park. But somebody can take you. No, I didn't want nobody to take me. But I was thinking about my mental health. You know,
mm,
I do stuff like if I can't read, then I'll listen to a podcast or an audio book. Things that will lift my spirit, or
mm.
Spotify. Like, for example, my laptop has been playing the whole of yesterday from in the daytime until in the night when I was going to bed, and I asked my son, can you just turn that off for me, please? And he's like, it's been going all day. You know, music helps me. I listen to a lot of worship music. I love Christian rap because I'm a bit out there like that. You understand? I like to still, yeah, all of that. So I listen to music that will uplift my spirit. Also, if you don't have a garden, You can still do like window gardening, a few little seeds, put them and watch them grow. And that activity of watering it every day keeps
Mm,
your mental. You understand?
absolutely.
So I was doing things like that, and also because my doctor, because they were like, oh, it does affect people mentally. Yeah, it does. I was fully aware of that. Even my in-law, he was like, "Oh, I'm really concerned about the psychological effects." Now, I'm not going mad if that's what you're thinking. But as a consultant, those were his concerns. But I was doing things to keep my mind going. Cooking was one of them because it's creative. I'm taking something from nothing. My mind's engaged, even if it's just making an egg. I'm making an omelette. I'm gonna make it fancy. I'm gonna whisk it. I'm gonna put some chili. I'm gonna, you know. It keeps the brain going and just getting fresh air. Like I
Mm,
would go outside sometimes and I'd walk to the front of the drive, and just look around. And sometimes I'll be out and I'm like, oh wow, I've not seen my street in over 2 weeks, and I'd appreciate just seeing the street. This street I used to just drive up and down and don't even care, you know what I mean? But just looking after your mental side of it is so important. I started something called table gardening. And my doctor was like, what is that? I'm like, basically, you just get pots with plants and you put it on a table and you do your gardening. Because I couldn't bend over at the time, I couldn't hold my head down for long. So those were some of the things that I did to take care of my mental health. Do you know what I mean? And again, just talking to people. And when you're feeling some kind of way, don't be ashamed. Listen, I need to big up some people as well on this in this community. Goga, I'm telling you, there's some prior warriors. You know yourselves, right? There's some darlings that have been praying for me. Helen Akoya, Mommy Blessed Life Journey, like JD, guys, listen, they go hard. They pray for me. They sometimes, like, I'll be having a tough day and they don't even know. And I'll get a message from Helen and it'd be like a joke, some sort of joke she was sharing or something. And I just start laughing. And I just want to thank everyone. Savvy's Hot Kitchen. Like sometimes I'll go to some people's lives and it's a really tough day. I'm home alone. I want to leave the house, but I'm like, do I risk it? Nobody's here. What if I fall over? What if I mean, driving, I would never drive if it's not safe. That's one thing I've never, that's one rule I would not break. But, you know, um, I'm home alone. I'm tired of listening to music. I'm tired of, I can't cook. I don't have enough energy today to cook. Most people are at work. It's such and such time in Jamaica. They're still sleeping. I don't want to go out in the garden today. Well, I go on live and I go into Savvy's and it's pure joke. And we'd just be over there, just pure banter. And I'm like, wow, God, I'm so grateful. Thank you. So, to my community, I love you guys dearly. I'm not always on your channels, I'm not always commenting, I'm not always on your lives, but I do what I can. And I just appreciate you guys so, so, so much. And they'll be checking on me like, Herbs, how you doing today? You know, how you feeling today? And sometimes I don't really want to say in the chat because I don't want to like put like a damper on the live or what's going on or make it about me. I'm like, I'm doing well by His grace, you know, or
yeah.
I'm getting there. I'm taking it day by day. Those are my phrases, because although we're going through tough times, I don't want to project too much of that onto everyone else. And but just really grateful for everybody's love and care. I'm really, really happy about that and thankful. And people in the UK, we need to do a summer meetup. Okay? Savis, I'm calling you out. Misha Bless, I'm calling you out. Make it happen. Good Vibes K, I'm calling you out. We
And,
need to do
and,
this summer.
and,
Come
and
on.
Special has offered to do the driving, so Special is excited on the live stream. Like,
Hey,
yeah,
yes, thank you.
okay. Special K is excited on the chat, like, yeah, oh my god, Michelle is there, Michelle. Yeah, she's still like wailing on the live stream, like she's not. Special, relax. We got this. We got this.
Yeah,
Misha,
thank you. Okay. You've been
Misha has
amazing.
had Misha has held this down for the last nearly 3 hours, and she's doing amazing. She's done amazing.
Okay.
She's done amazing.
Thank God. I hope you guys have learned something. I hope like you be encouraged. Like just don't give up, even on your YouTube channels, because I could have given up easily. Like I spent a lot of money on my YouTube channel. I spent on money buying courses and equipments that I did not need. Use what you have. If you're just starting out, use what you have.
Mm.
Trust me, you don't need all this fancy stuff. You don't need it. You don't need it. I spent money on pots and pans. I mean, I love pots and pans and plate. That's my fetish. Is that a word? You want to buy me a gift? Buy me a nice pot. Okay, or buy me a nice plate set. Or the glasses with the rim. Yeah, buy me those things. Don't buy me perfume and that. I love those things. So I spend a lot of money on the channel, and at times I'm like, maybe I should just give up. Maybe it's not going to happen. And they'll get in my household be like, why are you stressing yourself? Why do you put yourself through this all the time? But I feel good when I can put a video out. So don't give up in the channel. Keep going. If you're going through any difficult time in life, trust God. Surround yourself with people. Talk to people. Let them know what you're feeling. Just share your heart. And okay, you have to be careful who you tell, but sometimes you just need to let it out. You know what I mean? Just live. Enjoy each day. Take it from me. Every day is a blessing. It's not guaranteed. Don't waste it. Let your loved ones know that you love them. And just shine light. Just share love. You know what I mean? And keep smiling.
No, I love this because guys, I know guys. Once again, if you don't have the beautiful queen you're seeing on your screens, the link is pinned up there on top of the chat. Get out of here, go and confirm that you have her, because there's a new, she's going to give us, I think, her content direction when she's signing off shortly. Make sure you do have, like, this has been a Sunday service with a lot of wisdom, and I think based on the comments that I'm seeing here, everybody agrees. Misha, I don't know. David is even trying to send a super chat so that I can ask the okra question, but he lost this, right? I mean, what is it? In less than 1 minute, can we let's bury this? Let's bury him alive. Like, what is your take on okra?
David.
How do you ask a Jamaican that question?
Exactly.
A Jamaican, Indian, African, she has all these ancestries lined up, and you dare ask about okra. How did you think this was going to end, David?
Yeah, I know, David. Boy, you have to accept at some point.
Bury David alive. You have the permission.
So, David, I was thinking about you yesterday, actually. Fun fact, I really was. I was on Helen's live yesterday, which was amazing. Well done, Helen. Keep that podcast going. And I was literally cooking. I was making beef stew with okra and fufu. And I was thinking about David. And once you put it in the chat on Helen's, but I'm like, nah, this is not appropriate. Have it or not? And I remember David commented, "Oh, I've not seen any videos on your channel with okra." And I'm like, that's gonna change soon. I was thinking in my mind. But okra, listen, David, you have to come over to the okra side, mate. You understand? You're isolated over there. Come over to the good side. Okra is a must. Like, it's good for many things, David. I'm saying. So, unfortunately for you, I'm an okra girl, I'm saying. So, fish, steamed fish, okra stew, Niger version, And overall, it's good for you as a man, David. Do you need to educate me? Goga, we need to really show him. The men in the chat, you need to speak to David.
I will get Rebecca, because Rebecca has said that she has an okra series that she can use to speak to the men. We will organize. We will arrange this okra live stream one day, then you guys can have this chat.
David, I'm gonna have to make your okra punch. Have I drink okra punch yet? Ask the Jamaicans. But
there's an okra punch.
Yeah, they make it in Jamaica. They call it strongback. If you know, you know. Reds. you know. Okra punch. Blend up the okra. Some people add peanuts. Some people put oats. Yeah. Listen, anybody that's married, I'm not going any further.
Okay. That's a sign you need to kick the guest out of the Sunday service. She's gotten too comfortable now.
Right.
She's even cracking jokes now on the Sunday service. On a light note,
Oh,
A few
Lord.
a few comments here, then we can release you, Misha. So let me
Okay.
just highlight them for them. Kisha says, I've been listening for quite a while. Our dear Misha is a walking testimony of so many life experiences and challenges. She's the very definition of resilience. Blessed over and over. Amen. Amen. Amen.
Amen. Thank you
Rebecca
so
keeps repeating
much.
the same thing. You're a true testimony, and she puts those nice hearts, those colors of hearts that you like. And
Thank
then
you.
David and is like, her voice is so soothing and demure. David, leave me alone. David, leave me alone.
Thank you,
And then
David.
Rebecca says, Chef Misha, your voice is money. Your voice is money. Wow, so soft and satisfying to listen to, like reading a book to put us to bed.
Oh, wow. Thank
Misha, this is a
you.
business. Misha, this is a business idea right here. We can monetize this one.
We can, oh, we can.
We can monetize it, but I'll have to get clearance from your husband.
Yeah, we'll have to discuss. We'll have to call a serious meeting about that one.
We'll
There's,
have to
you
get.
know, especially now with what's going on, everything has to run through my
David
kids.
asks, can you cure yourself with okra? I think this has been answered very
Oh,
well.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can give you the benefits of drinking okra water. Try it for 10 days. You would never regret it.
Yes, food is healing from Rebecca Prince. Yes, food is healing. I think
Yeah.
that's what Misha was just trying to agree. Right? She ensured that all is well if she's never coming back. This was when you are cleaning the house before the ambulance. That was very funny.
It's
Yeah.
true because you never know, especially what was going on then. Lots of people went and never came back. So, oh
Man, that was
dear.
a dark time, yeah, for the world generally. Oof,
Yeah.
yeah. More blessings to you, Misha. Much love from Helena Koya. And then Peterson Farms of Nashville says, faith and family. Very lovely young lady. Thanks so much,
Thank
Peterson. Nice
you
to see
so
you as
much.
well. Boiti says, I am thinking, where did the energy and strength come from? God is indeed good. Mhm.
Yeah.
And then David is trying to bribe us here. Such a beautiful soul and voice is demure. Demure.
Thank
And then
you.
Nino and Lo says, wonderful story of resilience and faith. Uh, Special got into the live
Yeah.
stream and started getting excited, putting all manner of emojis. Misha,
Oh,
I
special
love you, Mama.
prayer.
I love you, Mama. It is so lovely to see you, Misha. And then she just went and she's writing like a million messages per second. So I can't even keep up. Um, and then Ifeanyi was asking, I wonder how many times okra is done in her kitchen. You go and watch the video, you will know. Then blessed life Jenny says, you're welcome, Misha, sis, my heart of gold sister. I like that. I like that. I like that. And then special says that she's going to take you for in a drive. So you already
Yes,
have a
I need to make it
you already
happen.
have a chauffeur here, so you don't need to worry about your driving or anything. Um, and then if Annie says something very nice, and this can be a nice parting shot, I keep wondering how we all came together with these wonderful people here. That's a good question. That's a
God
very
did
good.
it. God did it. It's
Yes.
God. It was by God's design.
Mhm. Be okay says, yes, use what you have. Start where you are.
Right.
Just trying to resonate with what you're saying. Miss V says, live life to the fullest. Tomorrow is promised to no one. That is the motto I live by.
Right.
Yeah, and Misha just say, just live. Just live, y'all. Just
Yeah.
live. Uh, Be okay says, I love this. So many gems in what you're saying, Hubs. Thanks so much for that. And
Thank
then Kisha
you.
says, man, every day is indeed a blessing. Misha, you can see what the chat is so inspired. The chat is so, I mean, there's an overflow right here. There's an overflow right here. Your 3 hours of sitting with us at the Sunday service has definitely not gone to waste. There's so much love. There's so much like people are tapping into the wisdom that you just dropped on this, the experience. More are still coming in. Every day is a gift that should be treasured. Yeah. So guys, Misha loves these nice orange hats, like the color of this thing that is what is it? The color of this caption thing that is running on the live stream. I want you to click on that particular thing. Click on those emojis, drop those nice hearts if you enjoy this particular conversation before we release her. It's already been 3 hours. We need to actually sign out. If you don't have Herb and Spice Kitchen, the link is pinned on top of the chat. But she also has a second channel that she's trying to grow. I think I was trying to share it earlier. It's called
Yeah.
Herb and Spice Vlog.
Vlogs.
Herb and Spice
Yeah.
Vlog.
Can I say something quickly? Sorry,
Yes.
Goga. On
Carry
that
on.
channel, I think people will be able to see my journey a bit more. I haven't uploaded much as yet, but I do have footage of it because I wanted to share the stuff that um, the things that I've been doing to help myself to heal. Like,
Mm.
you know, even just finding somewhere for a private scan, which it wasn't very easy for me. And like, for example, I'm doing something, or I'm going to be starting something called hydrotherapy, which is something that I learned, which
Yeah.
is will get me moving, and you know it's good for muscles, and you can do low impact exercises in water. Um, yeah, and just different things that I've been using, like the herbs I've been using, the places I get them from, things that I do just to keep myself going and keep myself motivated, and yeah, so a lot of that, and some shopping and that will be on there too. And
Okay.
maybe travel. Woo! I'm gonna be traveling soon. Oh my god, I've not been anywhere for so long. But yeah, some of that will be coming up. So yeah,
I
check
like
it
that.
out. Subscribe if you haven't. Thank you,
I, haven't-
God.
I actually haven't subscribed to this channel, so I need to like watch the content. How will you balance the two channels? I'm just trying to figure out, how you're going to like navigate between posting content on both channels. I know you worked so hard to make sure you get monetized, like last year on Herbs and Spice Kitchen.
Mhm.
Um, Herbs and Spice Vlogs is on the road to 1,000 subscribers. You only like have 155 subscribers left to hit that milestone. How do you plan to like balance off between the two channels, and what will that look like for you also from a mental health standpoint to make sure that you're not overexerting yourself?
Yeah. So basically, I'll just be living my life. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna put too much pressure. So
Mm,
I'll for the cooking channel, it takes more out of me because I have to create the content, yeah, from scratch.
mm,
Whereas with the vlog channel, the content is there and I'm in it. Does that make sense? So, like for example, when I go for lymphatic drainage massage, I'm just showing up, yeah, and
mm.
it's just been recorded. I don't have to physically create. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or like if I'm going for sauna or steam, it's already there. I just need to show up. So basically, I'll just record what I can when I can,
Mm,
and although we need to be consistent on YouTube, I'll upload it when I can until I start building momentum. And when the channel's paying me enough that, an editor can step in.
yes.
So that kind of thing. So that's how I'm not going to put too much pressure on it. It just keeps me going, gives me something to do, it gives me something to look forward to.
Mm,
And yeah, just keep me busy. But again, like I said, I'm not going to put too much pressure on myself. Just like for the cooking, I have got content, it's just not edited, you know.
yeah.
Um, so again, I just do it as and when I can. But I strongly believe, I am going to get better. I just know it. And I'm gonna gain my full strength, and I'm gonna be able to do this YouTube thing because I'm really passionate about it. I love YouTube. I love the creative side of it. I love editing take long, but I like the end product, if that makes sense. And I'm not going to quit. So yeah, that's how I plan to do it. I hope that explains it very well. I'm just going to film my life. I don't need to put on a show. I'm not
I
going to
love it. Because you're
stress
living,
out.
actually, in the spirit of what you just said, you're living. So you're just going to, I like that. In the spirit of
Yeah,
living, you're just going to, live the life even through the content.
right.
Kisha got excited about the hydrotherapy, and she says it has helped her live with her chronic back pain. So
Oh wow,
yeah,
yes,
you
yes,
got your tribe here right away. So so you
yeah,
can already see that's a great opportunity for a collaboration and stuff. So I think
yeah.
I like
Good,
that
because I
particular.
want to share it because I didn't know about it. I had to go and research and do a lot of digging to find it. So I think if I bring these things again, value proposition, what value am I giving to my audience? And I think sharing these things can also help people, like Keisha just shared in her situation. For somebody who doesn't know, they can find it on the channel and go and use the same things and get help. So yeah,
All right.
it's great.
Guys, a good story is good.
I've
The
never
guest,
sat for 3 hours for so long. Never. What?
the guest
And I'm not
is good.
exhausted.
I
This
know,
is this is like
but I hope you do not feel like I hope you do not like feel any pressure. I hope you feel like you had a great time.
I
No?
had an
Yes.
amazing time. I love
Oh,
I enjoy every minute of it, Goga. Honestly.
oh. That's what you
every
want to
minute of it.
that's what
And
you want
thank you. You are such an amazing host. You are. You honestly, you do it so flawlessly. And I feel so comfortable. I feel safe. I feel like I'm talking to my friends. Like I'm telling you, I was so nervous. I was so nervous. I woke up this morning. I'm like, my heart is going. "Tudum, tudum, tudum, tudum." Oh my god, I'm gonna be a go-go show kind of thing. I'm like, what did I get myself into? Why did I agree to this? But
why were you nervous and you're part of the tribe? These are people you know, like they know you, they kind of know you. So it's actually like comfort, it's actually like a very comfortable territory.
yeah, it's like talking to
Why were you nervous?
family. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. I
Yeah.
love you
But thank
dearly.
you. I mean, let me just say thank you so much. This, as I said earlier, guys, when we were starting the live stream, that this has been a long time coming.
Yeah.
We've been preparing for this Sunday service with Misha for like slightly over 1.5 years now. But I remember when I remember she had to get better. But one of the things I like is how she sometimes, when she commits to doing something, she gets it done. She got monetized, I think, in 2 months
Oh,
last
yeah.
year.
That is
That
crazy.
and I think we got her into trouble. I think we got her in trouble with the family because I think she overdid herself with the
Yeah.
loops. But she did get monetized. She did get monetized, and she got that YouTube partner program badge. So when you go to her Herbs and Spice Kitchen, feel free to drop her a blessing. You can leave a super thanks on one of her videos when you're watching these nice food videos that have been running across your screen. Make sure you're part of that community, Herb and Spice Kitchen. Also, you can support Herb and Spice vlogs as we wait for the vlogs to come in there. Anytime you're watching these nice dishes, you will find all these things on her channel. Make sure you leave very nice comments. Don't go and put those things nice. I said no putting things like nice or wow. What are you wowing to? You make sure you are wowing. Make sure you are wowing to the fruits. Make sure you are saying nice cheesecake. Can you share with me the recipe for the cheesecake? You have to make the comments intentional, like the beautiful co-host, and how she's very intentional. So thank you so much, for really creating the time, Misha. And I'm glad that God has also been very good. That your health has really, because I remember that time there's a time you actually came on the panel. I think I was celebrating something, and you came to thank me, to celebrate me on the panel. And I know, like at some point you apologized for a stutter, and I could not even tell what was going on.
Mm.
I said, "I'm so sorry, guys. Just give me like a minute." And then you collected yourself and you picked up again, and you said, "Goga, when I'm ready, we will co-host this Sunday service with you."
Mm.
And I'm so glad that it has come to happen. It has come to pass. And the fact that people do not want to leave the Sunday service today, you are holding us hostage at the Sunday service. That should tell
Sorry,
you that
guys.
that should tell you how much people have really enjoyed this conversation.
Oh,
That
that's
should tell you
okay.
how people needed this ministry of yours. People needed the ministry of Herb and Spice Kitchen today.
Oh,
And I'm glad that it happened on the second Sunday of June 2025. It was such an honor. You are always welcome. I think we could listen to you the whole day. I love your storytelling, and I think, guys, by a show of hands, how many people want Misha to come back?
oh
We'll
my
get
God.
not we are not getting she's not coming back next weekend, but we'll get her to come back at some point. Yeah,
I'm
like some people
in the
already raising
future.
their hand. So there's
Don't
already like
worry. When my
there's
channel blows up, yeah, and that's coming in, yeah, we'll hit 100K. No, but on a serious note, yeah, I'll be happy to come back, Goga. When we don't know, but eventually, so at some point, why not? There's
I know.
conversations to be had, and
Yeah.
people to be inspired, and stories to share, and have fun. So yeah, I'll be up for it. No worries.
Yeah. So the last thing that is left before we release Misha, I'm going to give her a chance to sign off. So stay put, because we have to discuss some domestic affairs after the guest has left. For your homework this week, and then we have to read the affirmation, and then we can read somebody. Can my mods get me the read command? It will be Herbs and Spice. I don't know. You have to figure out something. Herbs and Spice Kitchen, maybe HSK and Goga Read, orange and purple hearts, maybe something like that. So the last thing I'm going to give Misha is a chance to sign out, give her closing remarks, maybe reiterate her message, in case there's anything I may not have asked, and maybe she wanted it to be part of the messaging at this Sunday service. So I'm going to give her 3 minutes just to like do that, and then we'll be able to release her so that I can release her to her family, because I can tell the family is just telling Goga, we need our mommy back. So I need to make sure that I'm also like aware that there are some
Yeah.
things that are stagnant somewhere because of her being at the Sunday service. So over to you, Misha. I'll put you on solo layout for that, and then we can do your sign off.
Okay, go girl. Well, again, I just want to say thank you for having me. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my story and just to encourage others, And I just want to give thanks to God. I give all glory, I give all honor, all praise to the Lord, because He's the one why I'm still here. He's the one that's healing me, He's restoring me, and He's given me this new direction, and this new purpose, a reason to live, And yeah, I just want to say thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys. I love you so much. I appreciate all of you so much. And thank you for always looking after me, taking care of me in the chats and checking on me and saying hello. May God bless you. May God keep you. And, anyone out there that's going through, any challenging times, just know that things will get better. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Keep believing. Keep trusting. Dig deep. If you have to speak to people, if you need to get help, if you need to, but don't give up. Be resilient. Keep going. And as we keep on saying over here and in our community, we keep pushing. And so, yeah, just keep doing what you're doing and keep being amazing. Keep smiling and keep living and enjoy life. Enjoy, no matter what it is, no matter where you are, enjoy life. In Jamaica, them say, if you only have a piece of bread, eat it and be happy, be grateful, be thankful, and just know that, you can change your destiny, you with the grace of God, your mindset, the way you think, your belief system, that can channel and that can change your situation where you are right now, and just believe in yourself. And yeah, that's it really. Just be happy. Love you guys and take care.
The moment just before it gets better often feels like the moment you want to give up. You wonder if it is a sign to stop or simply a test to see how much it matters to you. Truth is, anything meaningful will stretch you. It will ask for your patience, your resilience, and your willingness to keep showing up even when the rewards are nowhere in sight. Setbacks aren't proof you are off course. Sometimes they're just part of the path. You're just in the part of the story where the main character has to fight a little harder. So keep going. You're not starting over. You're building momentum. One hard but worth it day at a time. And what you're moving towards, it's still waiting for you, just on the other side of not giving up.